hopefully they'll pick us up at some point.
We're good. Let's
All right,
go.
let's go. Well, welcome, Jeff. Thank you for being here in City Hall today.
Well, thanks to the City of Las Vegas and to you and Elise for coming out and helping us to MC this fine event. Thanks a lot for coming out.
Absolutely.
And thanks. Can't ask for a better
Well,
place to do
I'm
this.
really excited to be here. It's going to be a real exciting day today. We're going to hear a lot of great pitches. We're going to see a lot of great things, a lot of great people here in downtown Las Vegas. I have a great co-host, so I'm very excited. Elise Smith. Better. I don't even think you need
ask
me.
for better.
You don't need me. You don't even need me.
Well,
you don't even need me.
Don't need either one of us.
This is well, you know, at least we need you. We need both of you.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to be here today.
So am I.
Me too. This is going to be so exciting. I can't wait to hear these investors pitch their brands and just kind of hear their backstory. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. So we've got a group of relatively new founders that are pitching to a group of relatively new investors.
Yes.
So it's awesome for our communities.
So maybe you could tell us just a little bit about what AngelNV is.
So AngelNV is an investor boot camp. We learned as we were doing our work at Startup NV, the accelerator and incubator program, that there just wasn't a lot of capital available for the early stage companies. So we applied for and won a federal grant that's aimed at communities that don't have a lot of this early stage capital. And what we've done with the grant is created this angel boot camp that spends essentially 13 weeks together with these new angel investors, each of whom has put $5,000 into a fund. And we started with 60 companies. The companies narrowed down first to 16, then to 10, then to 6. And then we broke into teams, did due diligence on each of the 6 companies. So it's been a pretty intense process since February when we started all of this. And at the end of today, one company is going to walk away with a $200,000 investment. And there might be a little bit more that's going to come as a surprise.
$200,000. That
Yes.
is incredible. So, Jeff, what is an accredited investor?
Accredited investor. Everybody asks. It's like there's no board that you go to. It sounds like I've got to go stand in front of a board and take a test. It's not that. It's a federal law that it's pretty complicated, but it boils down into just a couple of really important things. Number one, most people qualify to be an accredited investor if they have $1 million of net worth outside of their principal residence. So you have a retirement plan, you got a second home, you got a fancy car, whatever. As long as it's worth $1 million or more, and you don't have a huge amount of debt, then you've got $1 million there. Second way you qualify is if you earn $200,000 or more in W-2 income every year. There's a few exceptions that the SEC layered on at the end of last year that allowed people who work for funds or who have like stock brokerage licenses and things like that, even if they don't qualify the other ways, they can be called an accredited investor because they have knowledge. They understand the investing game. So you fit into one of those categories, and you can join a group like the group we have at AngelNV or the other group we run called FundNV, and you can make these private investments and stay within the bounds of the law.
Okay, so if someone watching today wanted to become an investor, they would go through those
Sure, they
steps?
could. There's a couple of ways they could do this, right? So you could wait until we do another boot camp if you wanted to kind of learn it from the ground up. You could also join our fund, FundNV, and that fund is separate from the nonprofit because, as you would expect, these funds are very much for-profit entities. So AngelNV and FundNV are both for-profit. So you can come on our website, startupnv.org, fill out a form. You'll end up probably talking to me at some point, or you can go on FundNV, check out fundnv.com, check out how we do our investing, and then if you're interested, like there's ways to reach out for contact on both websites.
So
And
startupnv.com or fundnv.com.
startupnv.org.
.org.
So
Okay.
StartupNV is the nonprofit. Fundnv.com is the for-profit fund.
All right.
So we have a great startup community in Las Vegas.
Yes.
How would they reach out to you? And other than the website, I mean, what things would they need to know before they just call you up or reach out?
Well, so if you're a founder and you're looking for investment, there's a process that we have that we put you through. One of two things. Most people hear that our fund invests $50,000, and it's like, yeah, I'd like some of that. But we want you to be prepared to pitch. and we want you to do it well. So we have a bunch of information on the website at startupnv.org that helps you get prepared to pitch. And the companies generally fall into two categories, right? Ones that companies are more mature. They have a product in the market. They're actually selling something. It's beyond an idea. And those are the companies that typically we want to hear from to get into the accelerator and make the investment in. Doesn't mean companies that are earlier stage aren't great companies or that they aren't great founders, but typically we have another program called GrowNV that helps those companies that aren't quite as far along to get prepared to pitch to the accelerator and get some investment. So the best way to get in touch with us is through the website, startupnv.org. If you want to get in touch with me personally, then shoot me an email at jeff@startupnv.org. I'm pretty good about responding. I've got some crew here in Vegas that helps me to keep up with everything. So if you do shoot me a mail and you hear back from one of our other group, don't be bothered. It just means that I wasn't able to get to it.
So, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to ask you a little bit more about what you can expect if you're a founder and you're going to start working with Startup NV and working with you. What does that look like? What other assistance do you offer other than financial?
So the big things that we offer, number one, everybody likes the money. Number two, before we give you the money, we put you through a pretty effective due diligence process. Many of the founders in the room today would probably say it was cringeworthy because we work you pretty hard, which gets you prepared not only for our investment, but for follow-on investment. And then we have mentors and coaches that provide all sorts of different subject matter expertise depending on where you need your help. You may have an engineer who's super good technically but doesn't have great marketing skills, or you may have a great business person who needs help on the technical side. So there's a lot of mixing and matching that we do with what the founders need.
So one quick question for you before we get started. How did the companies that are here today get here today? How does the process, how did you get to this grouping today?
So last September, we started with a founder boot camp where anybody in the community could come and learn, so what does it take to attract money from an angel investor? We answer that basic question, and we put those founders through about 11 weeks of events and processes. So some of the founders came from that. The other thing we did is we reached out into the community. As you might imagine, we've collected the names, and we keep pretty good tabs on who's doing what in the community. So we invited everybody that would like to have a $200,000 investment from this group of angels to apply. So we had 300 companies apply to and go through the founder boot camp, and then some portion of those, along with some new companies, made up that 60 companies that applied in February to AngelNV.
That is awesome. This is very exciting.
So
Those who are presenting today must be really proud of themselves because it sounds like it was a rigorous.
yeah, they should be, because first they went through a lot to get to this point. To be chosen, and as things were limited down to the top 6. And I wish we had enough capital that we could fund everybody. Mm-hmm. But that's part of why we're doing AngelNV, is to create more investment in the community so that when the companies are ready for financing, that we've got groups like the ones that we have at AngelNV or the one that we have at FundNV, or hopefully some of this group of 48 investors that we have here today, they might break off and form their own groups, which is fantastic. And we can syndicate some deals together, and that would be wonderful.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah,
that was
thank
great.
you.
Thank you for giving us the overview, and what's next for you? What's next maybe for today, and maybe run down for some of the people
Sure.
watching through live stream? What's going to be going on today?
So what happens today, it's 40 after the hour now, so at about 45 after the hour, we will hopefully get everybody in from the patio, from their snacks and beverages and whatnot, and we will kick it off with a greeting from the mayor. So Mayor Goodman will welcome us all. Then we will very quickly, I'll have a couple of brief announcements, and then we'll very quickly get into our pitches. There's 6 companies, each of them has 10 minutes to pitch, and we'll move quickly from one to the other. So that's going to take an hour, maybe a little bit more, with transition time. And then as soon as we're done with that, the audience that's watching on live stream gets turned right back over to you guys, and you'll be interviewing those founders who just pitched. And the rest of the investors are going to head up to the 6th floor here in the building, and then we're going to have our investors who couldn't make it here join us by Zoom. and we'll figure out who the winner's going to be. And we've allocated about a half an hour for that. So we'll do our voting thing, and then we'll come back down. We've got a couple of those giant checks stashed behind the wall here somewhere. So we'll fill out one of those, and we'll first announce the People's Choice Awards. So for those of you here in the room and online, there'll be a poll that you can do to pick, after the 6 pitches are done, to pick your favorite. And then we'll come back down and announce the winner or winners, depending on when we count up everybody's investment. If we've got enough money to invest in more than one company, we will announce that as well.
All right.
Amazing.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. I'm excited.
So the winner, the winners, we should, if everything runs the way we expect it to, we should be announcing the winners somewhere between 3:35 and 3:45. It'll be in there somewhere, depending on how long the angels take deliberating.
So those of you on live stream, stick around. Don't leave.
Yeah.
Don't leave. It's going to be exciting. You're going to get to see the pitches. You're going to get to see them interviewed. And then you're going to get to see who wins.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great.
So fun. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All
And
right.
we will be right back in about 2 minutes with Mayor Goodman's greeting.
Great.
Great. Thank you.
Live stream now. So we're pretty lucky to have a great partner in our efforts here in Las Vegas with the City of Las Vegas. And before we get started today, with a few more announcements and some of the logistics, we were fortunate enough to have Mayor Goodman actually want to speak to all of us. Now, she couldn't be here in person, so she recorded a nice greeting for us. And we're going to hear from that now.
I'm delighted to have the opportunity to welcome you to the grand finale event of the AngelNV program. While I wish I could join all of you in person, please know how proud I am of the hard work and dedication these entrepreneurs have shown. How remarkable to know we have investors who are committed and willing to support Nevada-based startups. While Las Vegas is known globally as the entertainment capital of the world, it has also evolved into a vibrant place for developing business, culture, and major league sports. And it's also a wonderful place for raising families and enjoying life. Because our city has so much to offer, I have long been a staunch supporter of fostering a business environment that is very attractive to startup founders. Our Downtown Innovation District launched in 2016 to focus on evaluating emerging technology in the areas of public safety, mobility, and social infrastructure. This district has become a proving ground for collaborative efforts between the city and advanced technology partners, including many tech-based startups. But startups aren't only found in the tech industry, and the participants in the AngelNV Founders Program ran the gamut from offering new consumer goods and personal services to providing exciting solutions for the medical, engineering, and gaming industries as well. In fact, more than 200 founders with diverse business ideas enrolled in the AngelNV program last fall to learn how to attract angel investors for their companies. Now, AngelNV is down to its top 6 finalists, including 3 female-owned businesses and 4 based here in Southern Nevada. Today, they're vying to be selected for a $200,000 investment, pooled together from more than 45 Nevada-based investors. Thanks to AngelNV, these investors learned how to identify great founders, to invest in their startups, and to understand how their financial commitment can change a business's trajectory and transform our economy overall. Having a diverse startup economy will help our community overcome economic downturns and make us more resilient and economically effective in the future. I'm honored that Las Vegas City Hall is hosting this special event today, and I so wish I could be there in person to hear the pitches and see firsthand Las Vegas's own Shark Tank. I'd like to thank Jeff Saling and his team at Startup NV for facilitating the AngelNV program over the past few months and congratulate them on this monumental finale. I wish all of the startup founders good luck, and I'd like to thank the investors for putting their money on the table to invest in startups and support our effort to diversify our economy in Nevada. Thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you, Mayor Goodman. So I want to thank a few other folks before we get started. First, Ira, you're coming up next, so get ready. I want to thank all the founders. You guys have all worked your butts off. Am I allowed to say that in City Hall? Worked your butts off to get here. And I think we've probably, if you haven't seen the disclaimer, it's going to come up pretty soon. The founders here are pitching to the investors. They're not pitching generally to the community or soliciting an investment advice from the community or investment from the community. Is an important legal distinction to make. So the founders or the startups here are actually pitching to the AngelNV investors for investment, not to the general community. I want to thank the angels. There's 48 of us who have also worked their butts off with going through the due diligence, getting to know the founders, selecting these companies. So thank you to my fellow angel investors. Not only have you done the work, but you're putting your money where your mouth is in terms of investing in these communities, especially those of you who have actually put the money up front before you actually even knew who the companies were. Now, we've ended up with some great founders, but the fact that these investors wanted to just start the ball rolling is fantastic. I want to thank our sponsors. The City of Las Vegas has done so much for us to be able to do this event today. The Glassboard Technologies and Assure have provided the platform on which our investors are making their investments. Carta has supplied us with some capital so that we could put this on. They do the cap tables. They manage the cap tables for founders. Silicon Valley Bank has helped us. And then, of course, Startup NV and Fund NV, the other investment fund that Startup NV runs, are big sponsors of the program. And if there are folks that are watching or curious about being angel investors, I'd suggest they hook up with me at Fund NV so that we can walk you through the process about how to invest in local startups and do well by doing good. The Startup NV is a nonprofit. The funds are definitely for-profit things. So what's going to happen today is we're going to spend about 60 minutes hearing pitches from 6 founders, 10 minutes each, right? 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes. And we're going to go quickly from one founder to the next. The founders know their order, so we're going to start with Ira here, and then we're going to move to Mark over there, and then back to Danielle over here, and we'll go quickly back and forth. I'll just jump up and hand the clicker back and forth to you guys. So we should be done with that in about an hour. After that, the angels that are here in the room are going to head up to the 6th floor. We'll get some badge assistance to get up there because you need a badge to get up there. Those investors who are online will join us by a private Zoom. We will do our voting, and we will figure out who the winner is, who's going to win the investment of $200,000. And then we'll come back down. And while we are away voting, all of the founders are going to be interviewed by Michael and Elise. So stick around in the room if you'd like to hear from the founders. If you'd rather go out and get some ice cream on the porch, please do that. And we will have this all available on YouTube after we're done with the live show. And then we come back in the room around 3:30, 3:40, and we will announce the winners. And then for those of you who want to stick around with us for the after party, there will be some drink coupons that will be available out at the tables there. When we're done here, we're going to head down to Fremont Street to Whiskey Liquor Up. So we'll have and we'll buy the first drink. So there's some drink tickets. We'll give everybody a first drink. No requirement to do that, but if you do want to come hang out with us, we're going to be down there for probably an hour, hour and a half, celebrating a great victory. And the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to Ira is, we came into this thinking we were going to have 40 investors, $5,000 each, and a $200,000 fund to invest. We did better than that. Last night we got to $300,000. So there'll be 3 winners today. So we're pretty excited about that. So don't relax. There's 6 companies, 3 winners. So stay focused. So the winner will get $200,000, and we'll make 2 additional investments after that. So we're gonna begin now with our pitches. First up is Ira from Freedom Brands. So welcome, Ira.
Thank you, Jeff. Oh, thank goodness I own a deodorant company. Whew. All right. Got my magic wand. I've got the other wand. You guys can all see me above the podium. I've got my tall shoes on. All right, let's get started here. Hi, guys. My name's Ira. I'm the CEO and founder of Freedom. It's a natural deodorant company that works. But why we started, you're going to see in a second here. I don't know how many of you know, 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. They're your sisters, your cousins, your daughters, and here in Las Vegas, it's our mayor as well. So when my friends were diagnosed, 3 of them were my friends, and I have 3 daughters, I'm half of that equation. I went to buy a natural deodorant. And this is where it begins. Now, my journey to buy a natural deodorant, I don't know if anybody has ever tried a natural deodorant. It was not a good journey. This is why. Because they don't work. They don't smell good. I'm a woman. I don't want to smell like a tree or an onion. It was one of the 2. And not only that, they're not always clean. They might say they have aluminum free, but what else do they have in there? Are they perfumes? There's a lot of head shaking right now, right? So we don't really know. You have to turn into a chemist to actually buy a product. And I thought, why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? So I thought, well, why not? I'll just make deodorant in my kitchen because that's what everybody does, right? No? No? So I made deodorant in my kitchen, and I gave it to my 3 friends. One of them was going through menopause and cancer treatments, and she came back crying. I will never forget that. She cried, you know why? Because she felt normal, because it worked. How do I know it worked? We got clinically tested this year because everybody was sitting at home eating bonbons, right? We went to Arizona in 126 degrees on an independent study, and 100% of those people came back odor-free 24 hours. 100%. 93% of them loved it because it was natural, and 90% of them said it was better than the natural deodorant they're already using, the ones you find in the stores. And by the way, did I mention it's a $74 billion industry? Kind of small, right? And 1 out of 2 people are looking for natural products. 1 out of 2 people. That's a $36 billion opportunity. And here's a product line. The first ones you'll see I made in my kitchen. Don't worry, we're not in the kitchen anymore. We actually have a couple manufacturers throughout the country, and we're made in the USA. But you could see we expanded this last year to sanitizing wipes. Those wipes went into the planes at Alaska Airlines and hotel rooms at the Sands. This is our new product. This is what we're over the moon about. This is our new freedom. You could see our packaging, you could touch our products and smell them right here. The eucalyptus spray right here, I know that a few of you had in the room, it's amazing. But this product is amazing because it's paper. Paper, right? It's got one piece of plastic inside of it, and that's it. And guess what? This is our competitors. You could come up here and see it yourself. Why are we different? Well, I showed you our competitor already, right? I'm sure you've heard of this brand. So we're the only EWG verified company out of that group. We're the only female-owned company out of that group. We're aluminum-free. You could eat our deodorant. Please don't. It doesn't taste good, okay? This is our platform. We're online. Our largest profit margin is online. We have B2B projects as well, which is amazing. The Alaska Airlines, the Sands, and we have wholesale. And I've got something to tell you about wholesale in a second. We have a 10-pronged marketing strategy, and our head of marketing is here too as well, so you could talk to her about that. We have partnerships, affiliates. I can't see that far because I'm old, but it's all on there and you can see it. And by the way, we were just named the #1 women-owned company, body care company by Pop Sugar, which was amazing. We just found that out a couple weeks ago. I think we owe them a check or something like that. We have over 10,000 customer reviews. People love our product. Our retention rate is over 50%. People come back and buy more because you run out of deodorant. And you want to be healthy, not stinky, right? This is our fantastic group. You could see me. I actually sold a company to start this company. I had a financial firm for 12 years that made me plenty of money, but it wasn't helping me fulfill my mission, which is really to get people healthier one armpit at a time. But who knew, right? We have the awesome Autumn, who's my COO, and I stole her from a $50 million supplement company. I'm still trying to figure out why she came over. But she did, and we have her now. And then she was great because she stole BB for us. And BB's amazing. She's our creative director. She's in process right now with a major TV company to make 12 commercials, which we're so excited to air in the next month, if I'm not mistaken. We've got Gloria Ryman, who's not here today, unfortunately, but she's a master broker. She just recently brokered the deal with Whole Foods that we will be going national as well. And she's got 20 years in the industry. And then we've got Randy. He started with me when I was still in the kitchen. He just graduated UNLV and thought it was just an intern job. Sorry, Randy, it's not an intern job. By the way, though, Randy built our whole website in his spare time. Investment in freedom. The majority of our money is going into marketing. We've never really spent money in marketing because when I sold my company, I didn't realize we needed an investment. So I just put all my money in the company because that makes sense, right? And then I'm like, wait a minute, we need more. And so 70% is going to build out the team specifically for BB to do her magic. 20% of it is going to actually fill out, there's only 4 of us, you guys. We do a lot with just 4 people, but we need some help. And the rest of it is going towards rebranding and product. Now, the cool thing is some of the companies that we work with also offer PO financing. And we'll talk about that in a second. But here's our exit strategy, because we're going to exit in the next few years. I'm getting older. I need other things to do, right? No. Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, Coty, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson. Can I just tell you, only one of these companies has bought a deodorant company. That means there's plenty more for them to buy, right? There's plenty of room. Oh, and by the way, they're buying them at a 5 to 7x. Just to let you know, Drunk Elephant just sold at $850 million. We are proud to be Women-Owned Business of the Year for 2020 here locally in Las Vegas. Those are my children when they were really nice and decided to take a picture, which they don't do anymore because they're teenagers. And we donate back to American Cancer Society, but I think I've got a minute to tell you what just happened in the last week. I'm going to let that sink in for a second, because those are all the companies that just reached out to us for our new paper packaging. And not a reset for next year, for this year. So with that, I just want to say thank you for helping me get people healthier one armpit at a time, and be healthy, not stinky.
Awesome job. All right, so next up, we're going to hear from Tom Donnellan at Deck of Dice. Now, Tom couldn't be with us today, so we're going to see Tom's pitch recorded. So whenever we have the TV or the thing going, we'll go from there. Mark, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tom Donnellan, founder of Deck of Dice Gaming. I wish I could be with all of you in Las Vegas today. I chose to stay back east in our second office location this weekend. My mother passed away just 4 weeks ago, and it's important for me to be with my extended family for Mother's Day. Life happens. My mom moved into hospice on the kickoff day for due diligence in this competition. I wouldn't say that I was able to muster my best effort to educate my diligence team on our market and our business. Nonetheless, I'm proud to have the opportunity to tell our story alongside 4 other fine entrepreneurs. What an exciting moment for all of us, maybe even more exciting for all of you as investors to have a sneak peek at Nevada's future. So a big thank you to AngelNV for giving me the opportunity to tell our story. All right, let's roll. So as you can see, we offer nothing less than a new user experience for the most familiar game outcomes in history. Like a deck of cards, our products can be at the center of 2 massive markets. Now, we're getting started in the market for mobile casual games, a massive market growing at 25% year over year. We can go deeper and deeper with multiple SKUs into the casual game markets, and we can also bounce over to the market for online gambling and enter the greater casino market. And we can do this because we're beginning with the end in mind. Our tech strategy can serve both markets. Now, it's important to make the point that we are an entertainment company, not a gambling company. Our casino business would be executed through licensing deals with publishers. Now, while large and vibrant, these markets have problems. Players want new experiences, and publishers have a hard time making really new things. They are focused on existing operations and incremental innovations. And as a result, they're all beating each other up with incremental products and facing accelerating cost of user acquisition. We solve by bringing the players something new. Players can have agency. They can be involved in their luck rather than watching a dealer. And for publishers, we give them marketing advantages that can lower their overall cost through time. Now here's our business model. We're a developer. We make interactive entertainment software. We go to market through publishers who reach retailers like the Apple App Store and Google Play. So while the digital games business is foreign to many, you can see that, in fact, it's a very traditional distribution model. And here's how we make money. Advertising and in-game virtual good purchases. Advertising for us is the key. This will be more than half of our revenue, and I think everyone understands that time is money in the entertainment business. We know that we can make a lot of money with our games because of our testing and piloting. Today, our first game, which has been on the market since Q4 2020, is already earning up to 24 minutes a day for our target audiences. And that's a sitcom worth of time every day from certain players. Jerry Seinfeld's a billionaire because he earned a similar amount of time once a week from his audience. Now, I know it's a black box. What goes on to make a mobile game product that's profitable? Shouldn't a couple of folks be able to make a game in their dorm room and make a ton of money? Well, actually, that's happened. In the early days of mobile gaming, there were plenty of small team dorm room successes. But let me open that black box. And at the risk of causing everybody to go blind, here are the subsystems of a very sophisticated interactive entertainment system. Things like player accounts, friend system, robot players. We've built all of this. I'll cover it up to save your eyesight. The input to all of this is design, and I could have a similar eye chart. We've experimented with dozens of designs. We've prototyped many, tested the most promising. We've iterated. In fact, we've measured twice to cut once might not be the right way to put it. We've measured quite a lot, and we're delivering fun. And we know we're delivering fun because we're getting so much time. And time is money. We're already converting and on track with our unit revenue model. Now, I'll mention here that gaming is a live ops business. Software as a service. We observe results and we work to improve. We're constantly going to be designing and then making changes to the software to continue to drive revenue and profit. So how are we doing? We launched in December, not so good. That's the way it goes. We plan to be underwater with lifetime value. Think of that as the purchase price for our product. And the cost to bring in a new player was much higher. But I'm proud to report that within the last month, we've flipped it. We're making unit ROI. $2 per player is estimated right now. And for our first 12 months, we're on track to deliver the unit ROI that we see. And once we have unit ROI, this is a highly scalable model. Now, I presented that 5 years, 5 periods to reach 100 million in revenue might be our business model. But it's important to understand that with the right publishing partnerships and the right flow of capital, growth in the mobile games business is unlike any other startup you're going to hear about today. You can dump a bucket of gas on the sparks and turn these periods into half years or quarters. Now, we've already created a number of assets and mitigated risks. We've got our IP in place, an amazing team centered right here with some of the best engineers in gaming here in Las Vegas. Design, one of the most legendary game designers in mobile gaming, leads the charge for us. We've built and tested, and we've entered our market. Now we're focused. The next quarter, maybe a little more, is going to be spent optimizing for ROI. And then we're going to blow it up. Then we scale in this market, then we start licensing into other markets, and rinse and repeat. Just like a deck of cards, we can come out with more and more SKUs. Now, I'd ask everyone today to consider one thing. Is there an investment sector that is hotter than gaming? In 2020 alone, $34 billion in M&A capital flowed through the gaming market, only to be outdone by Q1 of 2021 with $39 billion. Massive amounts of capital, massive exit opportunities. We are in the right place at the right time. Gaming has a history of delivering outsized returns, 5 to 10 times revenue. So for us, getting to 20 or 40 million in revenue, You can do the math. 6, 8 times revenue, pick a number. The history is there, the examples are there. I think Deck of Dice Gaming stacks up quite well against any other startup. Our value proposition is clear, and our opportunity is profound. We're hitting the gas pedal, and we'll happily talk with anyone who's interested in learning more about where we're going next. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and don't forget to hug your mom tomorrow.
So that was amazing, Elise. Who do we have up next? Oh, Jeff is coming up next.
Mark, it's up to you.
Okay. Do you mind if I sort of step around in front of you?
Not at all.
Okay, I don't want to be rude or anything. Oh, no. Yeah. Can everybody hear me? This is a different mic here. Okay, thank you. Well, good afternoon. My name is Mark Aston. I'm CEO of Navaka. Navaka is a SaaS-based materials management product for field workers in the construction industry. There must be 1,000 such apps. But what makes Navaka different is it was built by electricians for electricians. Our founder, Chris Parris, is a 20-year electrician. He built Navaka on his own job sites. He understands the field worker and their needs. We also have Shrawan Sharma, our developer and coder, and me. I founded several businesses in construction supplies and some with an exit. It's hard to believe in this age of high tech that contractors still use pencil and paper to make their lists. Most orders and lists originate in the field, and field workers still don't have a consistent and accurate means to deliver their needs to their company. Simply too much waste and error. So what is the field worker's urgent pain? The urgent pain is make a list, share and edit the list, send the list. Navaka solves this problem with a comprehensive database of over 2 million electrical products, enabling the field worker to create a list, share and edit the list in real time with other field workers, and send the list to their office in PDF or CSV format or by integration. There are many back office softwares or EPMs, ERPs, and CPMs, and they all claim end-to-end connectivity. The fact is, none of them connects the first mile in the communications chain, the 700,000 electrical field workers. That is why Navaka is simply the best solution to deliver the right materials to the right place at the right time. We were asked during beta by field workers and contractors alike to include certain features in Navaka, which we did, such as the database, product submittals, time and materials, order tracking, tools control, and integration, among others. This chart shows some of the features our competitors Agora and Structure may not have provided for their customers yet. Navaka was built by electricians for electricians. Our competitors have been in business for 2 years longer than Navaka. They've raised more funding and they have more employees. But we believe we have an advantage because of our industry knowledge, our field worker obsession. We make the field worker feel important, and our recognition that without field worker buy-in, a software product such as this cannot succeed. This chart shows some of the features available in Navaka. The basic version responds to the field worker's urgent pain. The blue box shows the additional items available in the Pro version, and we expect contractors with revenues of $2.5 million or more to use the Pro version. The red box shows the additional features available for the integration of Navaka. We have a number of milestones focused on mass adoption by field workers and contractor revenue. Key milestones are 1,000 field workers within 4 months, 5,000 field workers by the end of the year, and 25,000 field workers by Q3 of next year. There have been some new developments since we've started presenting Navaka Pro to contractors. We're already receiving a positive response, and Kirby Electric has just announced they'll be using Navaka on their new Amazon project in Bakersfield. We've also soft-circled an additional $75,000 of financing from AngelNV members, some of them you. So thank you very much for those of you that participated. We offer 3 different versions of Navaca. The first version, the basic, is free to field workers. The Pro version is a full-featured version, and the Enterprise version adds the integration to the Pro version. So how do we know how big the market is? Phase 1 is the electrical market, and there are 70,000 electrical contractors that place over 28 million purchase orders a year at an average cost of over $50 per purchase order in processing time. Now, Navaca saves 35% of that processing time, or $17.50 per order. So our SAM in the electrical trade is $504 million. Now, when we migrate in phase 2 to the mechanical, plumbing, and HVAC trades, our SAM rises to $1.76 billion, and the SOM is $1.05 billion. This is only contractor user revenue. It does not include manufacturer advertising, sale of analytics, distributor licensing, international markets, or tools marketplace, all of which we expect to dwarf the user revenue. Our strategy is mass adoption by field workers. Field workers will download, register, and use Navaca. They will share their lists with anyone. That's how we generate adoption. They will deliver their lists and orders to their managers and their companies, and Team Navaca will close the loop in a pincer maneuver to convert those same contractors to Navaca Pro. To help us with our field worker adoption, we have already contracted with Forensis Data, who are providing us with curated and tested lists of field workers. The first lists are field workers in Nevada and the greater Sacramento area. Our initial marketing arm, which is Dingus and Zazie, are targeting these field workers to download, register, and use Navaca. The field workers will help us to convert their contractors to Navaca Pro. The field workers are our sales force. Field workers are Navaca's sales force. They will help us generate revenue from the contractor through the Pro and the Enterprise version. And we already know from conversations with manufacturers that when we reach 5,000 field workers, they will pay for advertising, they will pay for analytics, and we will also build a marketplace for field workers in Navaca so they can purchase tools, clothing, and equipment directly in Navaca. To accelerate contractor revenue, we're also prioritizing these contractors for Navaca Pro. The Federation of Electrical Contractors, the largest contractors in Greater Sacramento, the contractors in Nevada that are over $2.5 million in revenue, and the top 100 electrical contractors in the United States. Chris Paris already has established relationships with many of these companies, and their field workers will already have referred Navaca to their companies. So how many pro contractors do we need to generate revenue? With 70,000 electrical contractors and 700,000 field workers, there are an average of 10 field workers per contractor. So one contractor using Navaca Pro, on average, will deliver $320 a month to Navaca. 100 contractors will deliver $32,000, and 500 contractors will deliver $160,000, just 500 contractors. So for funding, we have received $50,000 from FundNV, and we expect by Q3 of this year to have reached a revenue of $320,000 per annum. And we are asking for a $400,000 raise. We expect this will take us through Q3 of next year to a sales or revenue of $2 million, at which time we will ask for a $2 million Series A. So our ask is for $400,000. We know that AngelNV is offering $200,000 today, but together with the soft circle financing we've already arranged, that will get us to where we want to go. We expect to spend this money 40% on product development and tech support, 40% on sales and marketing, and 20% on G&A. SaaS Capital tells us that successful SaaS companies in this space generate a revenue multiple of 12x. So SaaS companies can generate higher multiples. SaaS companies can grow faster. SaaS companies can deliver a higher ROI. Navaca has the potential to be a $200 to $300 million company with a valuation of $2 to $3 billion or more. This is absolutely the best time to invest in Navaca. So we're now at the exciting phase of growth and revenue. We invite you to join us as our financial partners, and we thank you so much for inviting us to share Navaca with you today. Thank you very much. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Danielle Vincent of Outlaw Soaks.
And I'm going to set my timer because I will just keep talking. All right. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Danielle Vincent. I'm the co-founder. I'm sorry. First time. My name is Danielle Vincent. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Outlaw. We make personal care and home fragrance for people who want to smell like adventure. What's adventure smell like? Well, it smells different for everybody, but for us right now, it's campfire, whiskey, leather, the great outdoors, and many others yet to come. Oh, okay. We are a real company with real traction. In the last 4 years, we found our product market fit. We've grown by more than 250% on average every year since then. We have $4 million in trailing revenue for the last 12 months. We have an average of 55% gross margins. That's blended and fully loaded, so it includes shipping. We're in 3 sales channels, more to come. And this year so far, we've seen 270% growth year over year since Q1 of last year. And you can probably tell from the chart, we almost hit our total 2019 sales numbers for just in Q1 of this year. So we're doing well this year. This is Davida, our marketing manager. She's back there. And we are a unique company. We've been in the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Men's Journal, Esquire, and we won their Solid Cologne Choice of the Year last year, and Outside Magazine, and Outlaw goes where the money flows. We're primarily on our direct-to-consumer website, liveoutlaw.com. We also sell on Amazon, where 60% of product searches start, and we're in Whole Foods, as well as many other national boutiques across the U.S. We're in Whole Foods, Northern California, all 50 stores, and they love us so much that they picked up 4 more of our SKUs last year. Even though they weren't making a lot of purchasing decisions last year, they did it for us. This is how we grow. We have wildly amazing products that are really different. In fact, I get to say the thing I've always wanted to say, which is look under your chairs because, or next to your chairs, because you probably have a sample set. For those of you in the back, please come after, and you might not have them because I didn't have time to get them out there. We have proven product market fit, which you saw in that growth slide. We are addressing a large underserved market. We have solid business practices, and we have a very experienced team. And we're proud to grow Nevada. We're a proud Battleborn Growth Ventures portfolio company, and you may notice from our logo, we have a Joshua tree in our logo as well. So last year we grew 20 jobs just last year. We're happy to grow more. 2 of our employees are right here. Hey, Chantal and Davida, good to see you. Yeah, so why do people love Outlaw? Well, we asked our customers. It's the best way to ask. They love us because of our unique scents that they can't find anywhere else. If you want soap, deodorant, lotion that smells like campfire, whiskey, you have to come to us. And that is something people love about Outlaw. They also love that our products are made in the USA. Many of them right here in Las Vegas. Those air fresheners, right here in Las Vegas. And many of our products are made in Reno in our Sparks facility. Oh, and yes, sorry, backwards. And also they tell us that they buy from us because we're a good company with good people. And that is not just me bragging. Our scents are iconic. Campfire, whiskey, leather, sagebrush, fresh cut grass, ripe blackberries, all those kind of memory-inspiring scents. They're the scents that take you right back to your favorite moments. And that's why people bond with our scents, because it reminds them of who they are at their best. And these scents change lives. This is backed by science. I didn't know it when we started the company, but now I've found the science. This is a message from a customer of ours who is a 9/11 first responder and a firefighter. He said that he's suffering from PTSD, but since he discovered Outlaw, self-care has become one of the things he looks forward to. And if you would like to get that study, I can send it to you. Go to liveoutlaw.com/investor, and we will get you hooked up. Outlaw Products address the needs of customers, modern customers. We're both for men and women. We're natural. We're US made. Leaping Bunny cruelty-free certified. Sustainable packaging, so our products come in aluminum packaging. They're one of the only products on Whole Foods' shelves that is in aluminum packaging. And we have omni-channel distribution, so we are everywhere. And once you find your signature scent, you can get it across every product. That means that from your first product on, your purchase is de-risked. So you can find your signature scent and buy it again and again. That's why we have such a high repeat purchase rate, and you can get it in everything from cologne to body wash to lotion to even to air fresheners and eventually laundry, hair care, and more. Who are our customers? Well, they're badasses. And Outlaw unites all customers in badassery. About 60% are men, 40% are women, and we know from that customer survey, they buy it for themselves. Our customers are also awesome and diverse. So we have every age group buying from us. So this is not just for young people or older people, it is for everybody. Our employer categories, according to Facebook, large categories: military, manufacturing, agriculture, commercial transportation, and protective services. But we also looked at this a different way. If you're one of those many 20 million households that have a motorcycle, you're our customer. And if you participate in outdoor sports twice a week, you're also our customer. That's 35 million people. So our customers are significant. The personal care market, total addressable market, is $95 billion. That means that the 10% of people who are Outlaw customers make up $9.5 billion annual market. Now, who's in the gang? This is me. I come from Oprah, so hence the look under your seats quote. I also came from ABC and ABC Family. I was the Gold Award winner last year for Entrepreneur of the Year for Consumer Packaged Goods, and I'm a graduate of the 10,000 Small Businesses, Goldman Sachs, and Babson College program. I am a professional community developer. I love building communities, building fanatical engagement. That's what I do. My husband and co-founder is the mad scientist. He builds out our product line and has worked on all our formulations to be so amazing. And these are our accomplices, Robin, Jacob, and Davida. They joined us all from companies that have been acquired. And this is our board, all from Mass CPG, because that's ultimately where we want to go. We want to take on the big market. And Daryl's company just announced IPO. So we've got big things, and we have a big vision. We're going to get to that $9.5 billion market. We're going to reach those more than 35 million target customers, and we want to expand to many categories of goods, laundry, hair care, just the beginning. And so we have lots of opportunities. We are excited to do this. We wanted to do this with you, but the ultimate vision is to live Outlaw. In that recent customer survey, 88% of our customers said that they wanted to attend an event in their town that we threw, which is cool. So we have the opportunity to create a meaningful and iconic brand that becomes a personal motto for those who choose to adopt it. So I want you to embrace your favorite things in the world and live Outlaw. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, so up next we have Tim Slifkin of Riot Wireless.
for the opportunity to speak with everyone, and a special thanks to the folks at the Nevada group. They've been real helpful in giving us some guidance as we've kind of gone through this process. Are we up? We're not up. Now we're up. This is what we do. We're a technology company. You can take this little thing and you can put it on any tank or case that you want, from a 5-gallon bucket to a 2,000-gallon barrel of oil, and it will tell you how much stuff is in there anywhere in the world within about 2 minutes. That's what we do. We're Riot Wireless, and we build edge devices for the Internet of Things. We've been doing this, we've been building the technology for the last 3 years. We've got about 3,000 units deployed so far. Last year we did about just under $1 million in revenue. Next year we're going to do about, 2021 we're going to do about $4 million. Our first product is this tank sensor, and you can see right there why tank sensors. Sounds kind of boring. There's 4.3 million in our market. Oh, thanks. There's 4.3 million in our market, so it's a very, very exciting opportunity. It's a big market that's poorly served, and we're knocking it dead right now. Now, the tank sensor is the first product. We've got several other products coming on behind that. Why? Why does anybody care what's in a tank? Well, it turns out these tanks, these storage tanks, are all over the place. There's 4 of them on top of this building. Every HVAC building in the world has storage tanks on top that hold the chemicals that help the building operate, whether it's disinfectant or whether it's cleaning material. They're all there. Every restaurant has it. Every process facility has it. Like I said, there's 9.6 million of them in the United States alone, and 4.3 million of them are our market. Why do customers care? You see Fred? Fred has a pain in the neck job. We want to help Fred do his job. Instead of having Fred walk around with a dipstick once a week measuring this stuff, we want to give him automatic data in real time, and we want to do it every day or every hour, whatever they want. We want to do it for less than $500. We want to do it on a device that runs 5 years on a single battery, and we're doing it. And these are the industries that we're involved in. How do we do it? So all the technology you see here is all designed in-house by our staff. We own the IP stack, we own the technology, we own everything. It took us 3 years to get there, but we also have 2 years of field trial with some of the biggest chemical companies in the world. We've run products in Alberta at -40 degrees, and we've run products in Bakersfield at 125 degrees. Very simple install. Just screw it into any tank you want, walk away, and it's automatically operating. Everything's inside. The sensor's inside. The power supply is inside. The communications device is inside. Everything's inside one bucket, one device. And that device is intrinsically safe. You can put it on a tank of gasoline, or you can put it on a tank of water. It doesn't matter. You can put it on anything. Huge regulatory barrel to get all this stuff done. It's quite difficult to do, and we've managed to do it, and we've got very large deployments in place right now. So what does this mean to the customer? So you can see at the top there where it says the Riot sensor, that's our device. If you look at the bottom right, that's the other guy's sensor. And you can see it's kind of a kludge of interface stuff. It's difficult to install, it's very cumbersome, and it's very subject to damage and leaks and all kinds of bad things. Our device, you screw it in, you're done. Their device is between $1,500 and $3,000. Ours is $500 or less. Plug and play, turn it on, it runs, and we have different types of communication that'll run 3 to 15 miles, cellular, satellite, all over the world, anything you want. We've got all that technology. Just a real quick competition look. These are the people in the space. There's a lot of people selling tank monitoring systems, but they're all focused on the big tanks, and the problem with the small tanks is the return on investment. It has to be very cheap, or you can't justify the cost, and no one's hit the cost targets that we're at. Quick look at the market, and I repeat, this is just tank sensors. We've got a gas sensor, we've got flow sensors and weight sensors coming out over the next year. So this is just tank. So our tank sensor market alone, our obtainable market is at 4.3 million, about $1.7 billion. And that's one of probably 5 or 6 sensors we have coming out over the next 2 years. Where we are now, we've got 3 major customers. We've got probably 5 or 6 that are teeing up. But look at the number of tanks that our major customers have. Over 650,000 tanks for each of those sensors at $500 a piece. And we're in every one of those customers. We're doing a 10,000 unit deployment study right now, and we'll start those will ship this year. So we're past the testing stage. We're a real operating company. We're shipping stuff out the door. We're doing energy. We're delivering our first satellite products this month. So we're moving pretty fast. You can take a quick look at what we're looking at. Again, this is just tank sensors. About 900,000 last year, 4 million this year. We're at 30 million by 2023, 2024, just tank sensors. Go-to-market strategy is pretty straightforward. We're in a lot of direct companies right now. These are folks that have large numbers of these things, but we're also deploying into value-added resellers, a lot of distribution partner that's taken us all through the industry, and we're in a number of trade shows this year. So we're hitting the market pretty hard. Our product is very ROI driven. In other words, it's an economic decision. There's nothing close to us in terms of cost. It's not necessarily, looking at it from the outside, an exciting product. It's one of those products that everybody's life in this room depends on every single day, and none of you know it exists. Without this technology, Burger King can't sell you hamburgers, Farmer John can't make sausage, and Mobil can't deliver gasoline to you. 2021 or 20 a roadmap. You can see there we're deploying satellite stuff now. We're early on that. We're deploying cellular technology. Next year we're going to add gas sensors, several certifications, solar power. There's an awful lot of things going on. It's a huge market. This is an IoT platform. The IoT devices are what is limiting the IoT market growth. It's not the platform, it's not the technology. It's the actual devices that people can put in the field. It's much more difficult to do than folks understand. So far, did I miss one? No. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did. Just in the last 45 days, these are things that we've accomplished, and it's a big deal because it shows the pace of our business. We closed $500,000 in funds over the last 45 days. We're working on a $1.5 million. We're in final stages of that raise right now. Up until this point, we've been self-funded. We're working on the site planning now for deployment of a $5.4 million order that intends to ship this year. Our satellite version was deployed, again, 9 months early. Our IP analysis, we're in process for 3 patents so far. You can read the rest of it. But there's an awful lot going on for a small company like our own. Our focus of use of funds is market expansion, facilities and tooling. We're scaling up our production so we can handle the devices coming out. An awful lot going on there. And then operations and support. It's pretty straightforward. The key thing is that we've nailed down all the technology. We're not inventing stuff anymore other than new products. We're shipping stuff now. So it's a different world we've gone into in the last year. We're going to be cash flow positive in 12 months, and after that, it's just a question of how fast we want to grow. This is our team. Nice thing about this team is the guys on this team, we've known each other for anywhere from 20 to 40 years. So we've worked together in a number of different environments. We're all very, very experienced guys. Jim on the second, who's our CFO, and Jim the third, who's our marketing guy. They're here today if anybody wants to talk to them about more details. Sergio, Chief Technical Officer, known the guy we worked together for 15 years. Damien, the guy at the bottom, I hired him straight out of Georgia Tech. We've got an awful lot of significant deployments. The last company I founded has a market cap now something north of 400 million. So we've done this before, soup to nuts, and we're doing it again. Why you should invest in us? Because we're good guys. Again, we're a technology play. We're this is an ROI-based business. The people who buy our stuff buy it because we save them a lot of money. It's a relatively straightforward sales cycle. We like that. Since our large customers are Fortune 100 companies, I can't tell you the names, but they're big. When our new customers learn about our old customers, the whole credibility issue goes away, and our trial program goes away because they can just talk to the customers, and we're good to go. Nice thing about what we're doing is we have a very solid exit strategy. The value of an IoT platform company is extremely high, but what makes the multiples enormous is the device company is an enabler for the rest of the IoT platform. So if you're trying to sell your fancy web platform that does all this cool stuff, you need the devices to get the deployment, and we're the device guys. By the way, we have our own website, but that's not really where the focus of our business is right now. I recently located here from the East Coast, and this is why I really came to Las Vegas. I'm a motorcycle guy, and I love riding on your trails out here. It's the most fun you can have. 2 rights and a left, and I'm in the desert from my home. So. And that's sort of it. There's 3 of us around. We're more than welcome to chat with folks. We are continuing to look for additional funds, and more importantly, we're looking to connect with the community. So if anybody has any questions or thoughts, we're more than happy to talk to you.
Tim. And then next we have Marta Venture and Lindsay Belengi of Safe Harbor.
Here we go. All right, we're going to set up our timer, I think, really quick here, so we can make sure we stay within the bounds.
All right. Can you guys hear us okay? Right. All right, we're another IoT company. My name is Marta. I'm the CEO of Safe Harbor. Safe Harbor makes smart lockers that track and protect legal cannabis. Our first product is a grab-and-go locker for retail dispensary that puts product in the hands of customers more quickly, safely, and affordably. So the cannabis industry is still several years behind scaled retail and distribution in terms of its efficiency and technology. Dispensaries today operate with long lines, crowded spaces, inefficient employee workflows, and it's a cash business most of the time. So on the road, these risks amplify because operators have left licensed facilities and they're bringing large amounts of cannabis and cash on public roadways. They can be hijacked, diversion, undue federal search and seizure, or costly insurance. So all in all, customers are inconvenienced and operators are routinely sacrificing efficiency, safety, and their bottom line. Despite all that, the cannabis market is exploding. Today, we're looking at around $8 billion annually and expected to grow to $30 billion in the next 4 years. The US domestic market represents roughly 1/2 of the global legal cannabis industry, and by 2025, ancillary technology will make up 15% of that. Ancillary technology is a company like ours that supports the industry but doesn't actually touch the plant, so we don't have to get special licensure. Earlier this year, New York made the trigger move to regulate their legal adult use industry, and this really represented a sea change of policy that's occurring nationwide, where even in conservative states like Montana and Mississippi, reform is pushing forward. In fact, in the last 6 months, every single cannabis-related ballot measure that was brought forth to voters passed through. So we have a large and massive market opportunity here as an ancillary company with a first-to-market product. Most importantly, because our DOT licensed competitors, these are major carriers like Amazon and FedEx, are currently barred for participation in the space because of their DOT licensure. So we have a window to grow and grasp this large footprint before they can enter the space. So Safe Harbor is bringing proven outside sector technology to cannabis. From the greenhouse to the warehouse to the dispensary, all the way to the end user. Our technology, which is patent pending, aids in the movement and transfer of regulated goods. Like I said earlier, we're launching with the locker for retail and dispensaries that gets more product into the hands of more customers quickly and allows them to pick up their order without waiting in line. Here's how it works. Back at their house, on their phone, they place an order on e-com. They go to the dispensary to pick it up and have their ID checked to enter the building. Then they proceed to our locker where they enter a series of inputs. Another ID scan, a QR code, a PIN, and then payment, which is either by debit or a third-party digital wallet. Safe Harbor validates that customer identity and our digital lock triggers open. Their product is released. This process takes under 2 minutes. It's compliant, quick, and easy.
Yep, and I'll step in. Let's talk business now. I'm Lindsay, the COO. So we sell B2B to dispensary licensees. And what that looks like is an upfront hardware sale plus a recurring revenue to us. On the customer side, it's like buying an iPhone. They buy the device, and then they have a monthly subscription fee. It's about $270 to the client in the monthly subscription, and it's about a $12K MSRP for the price there. We're looking at 50% margins in year 1, and then by year 4, that moves up to about 70%. And in years 3 and 4, our primary revenue driver is our SaaS, our software as a service there. We're looking about $1 million in revenue in year 1, and then we hope to reach $40 million by year 4. And then the best part about this is that the revenue driver of having that software as a service is a real boon and benefit to the company. Is this one? Top one. Nice, thank you. Okay, here's our benefits. So what we do is we save money and time and convenience in 2 ways. There's a convenience angle of this for the customer, the end user that's coming to pick up their cannabis at the store. They have faster transaction time, and so they really increase their store loyalty by having that alternative option there. For the dispensary, it's even more important. We increase their bottom line in a couple of ways. So with increased efficiency on the employee end, and then more importantly, faster throughput. So that means you get more feet through the door more quickly, and that boosts the sales volume on the dispensary end. It's also safer. You know, putting cannabis in a trackable metal box means that it's less subject to diversion, theft, sales to minors, things like that. Let's talk about our competitors behind me here. So we are, and if you take away anything from today, this one sentence would be the one thing to take away, which is that we are the only digitally integrated, fully state compliant pickup locker that's coming to market today. There's a lot of vending machine companies, there's a lot of transport companies, software companies that are trying to break into this market, but we have a unique differentiator in that we are making a product that's pre-slated, whether it's for a person, for a time, or for a place, and that means that we remove ourselves from the liability, and the liability falls to the dispensary instead. That makes us fully compliant with state regulations. And we'd love to talk more in depth about any one of these companies if you want to find us after. Here's how we are doing our sales funnel. So we are doing founder-led selling in years 1 and 2. And so that's also going to be supplemented by the extensive network that Marta and I have built up over a decade of experience in cannabis. And it's also going to be supplemented by our channel partners that we've developed. So what that looks like is a company called Temecca Group. And they've made, they are Southern California's premier cannabis design build firm. So what they do is they make dispensaries, basically, and build them out. And so they've actually already built in-wall units for what we're building into their plans and blueprints for 3 dispensaries that are opening in 2022. And then we're going to move to our target verticals, which is verticalized MSOs. And what that means is a multi-state operator. So that means they've got stores, they've got fleets, they've got farms, and they've got warehouses. So we're going to sell this product to them at retails, prove the use case, and then come back and leverage that for further sales conversation as we expand our product suite. All right, this is our team. That's me and Marta. We have our shared design backgrounds combined with our cannabis experience to be able to make Safe Harbor. We've partnered with the premier, this is a tough one, hardware, parcel and asset manufacturer in the US, the biggest domestic manufacturer. And so they've basically make lockers for Fortune 500 companies and for the armed forces. And they also make slot machines for casinos right here in Las Vegas. And so they have the production capacity so that we can actually meet any scaled volume at any point within 6 weeks lead time for production. Yes, so here is our roadmap. All right, so we're looking at the next 12 months because most importantly, how are we getting to launch? We're starting with dispensaries for retail, and we're gonna pilot with Copper State Farms in Arizona, and then we're gonna move into California and Nevada, most importantly, by October or so. And then we're gonna build out our distribution model, which is for warehouses and for commercial vehicles. And then we're moving into delivery. So that's with the consumer to the end user, from the dispensary to end user. And that's gonna occur in late 2022 so that we can match it to the delivery boom back east. Sorry, I need a sip of water here. And here's our financials. So we're looking for about $500,000 in funding that will help us get through from launch through 2022. And that will help us account to get through launch and be able to finalize our software and use of funds here. What we describe and lay out is a lot of client acquisition, which would be us going, taking our demo models, talking to clients, being able to grab them and get those contracts signed. Networking and marketing, and nationwide PR, and then again, iterative software development. So looking at how we're going to move through figuring out our next stage models as we go. Yeah, and all right, awesome. Okay, well, I'll keep it high level then at the end. Instead of going into more technical detail, because obviously the last 6-month process of due diligence and learning with AngelNV, you guys know our product already inside and out. So I think we'll just kind of say that we know we're a complex IoT hardware. We're not just a consumer packaged good you can already buy on Amazon. And we also know that the cannabis space, it's new and it's risky, but that opens us up to a marketplace that's not already saturated by retail giants. I think you and I honestly didn't even really know the full scope of what we were doing when we started 3 years ago, but it's allowed us to take the time to, one, talk to the regulators, figure out what is the fractured state regulations here and how do we handle it in a very dedicated and fractured market. And so that meant talking to control boards, that meant talking to legislators, that meant not only just fitting within, making sure we fit within, but also kind of helping to influence the way that the language of the law was written. Secondly, we made sure we had product market fit, which took a while, and hundreds of talks with licensees all up and down the supply chain. And then third, I think, was we were basically able to make an exclusive partnership with the one manufacturer who could offer us almost unlimited potential scalability from right here in Las Vegas, which was really important to us. And then we made the proprietary software. And the importance of that is that it's not just applicable up and down the cannabis supply chain, but outside into any regulated good. So that was really important as we expand outside sector and look to acquisition 4 to 5 years down the road. So Marta and I, plus our board, plus some of our supporters, I think we've got here in our audience, American Locker team, Temecca, Trees, Copper State. Our bags are packed. This train is leaving the station, the Safe Harbor train, to go to market by end of summer. And we'd love to have you guys on board because honestly, the last thing we need is capital, but the last thing we want is a knowledgeable Nevada-based team, an investment team to help us get there so that we can scale from home. So thanks, guys. I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Right? Did we come in time?
Thank you, ladies. And now Jeff is going to come up and let us know what's happening next.
Okay, yeah.
Don't go far. So, all of us who are investing should get up and head over to the elevators and up to the 6th floor. There should be some folks who have badges that can help us do that. Those of you who are investors that are on the link, or the live stream link, now's the time to go to the Zoom link that Maggie sent you separately. And while we're voting, the folks here in the room can hang out with Michael and Elise, and they're going to be interviewing each of the founders, or you can head out to the patio and grab another drink. So we will see you back here in about 35 minutes. So we'll see you then. And where did Marta and Lindsay go? You guys are up first.
Come on down. We can get them one.
This setup is amazing.
We got two. We got Mike for each of you. We have the resources. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
This is so exciting.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, this is great. It's great to have you here. It was great to hear your pitch. Tell us more, a little bit more. What did you not get to say right now that you wish you could have said, or anything more you wanted to say so much?
Yeah, well, we kept this really high level. We removed a lot of the technical details about our software. We're most proud of our middleware, we mentioned at the end, because this allows all of our product suite to run off one software, and it's the API gateway that allows us all of this cross-platform integration and achieves a much larger accessible market for us. But we want to leave those details out because we get lost. We lose a lot of people when we're talking about the software side, and really just relate it back to how many of you may have seen Amazon's lockers outside of 7-Eleven for consumer pickup, and what we've done is we've taken that technologies that our partners have developed and specifically coded it for state cannabis compliance.
What a clever idea. That's really smart. So you both were in marketing before, or were you in tech?
Nope,
We were
you're
neither.
on.
We're not technical co-founders. We actually went to the same design school in New York at different times, different programs. I studied industrial design, and Lindsay got her master's in architecture at Pratt Institute. And so we combined those shared design experiences. We met on a farm in Northern California where I was managing greenhouse operations and Lindsay was building out facilities infrastructure. And that was years ago. But as California was transitioning from medical to adult use, we really saw a gap in the market in terms of really scaled technology being available to cannabis operators. And we called on a family friend to be able to pitch a white paper.
Yep, that's how we got started. And then it's been a 2 to 3 year process of R&D since that time. Iterative development, talking to operators, figuring out what are their pain points, and then really going and adapting to what we have now, which is a product suite of 3 products fully, which is transport and distribution and warehousing, and then the dispensary model we spoke about today.
And you're already going to be launching the actual product in Arizona later this summer?
Yep, so our first partner is a vertical MSO, multi-state operator. So they've got delivery operations, they've got retail stores, and they've got
They were actually
a
in the
farm.
Times yesterday, great article
Yeah,
on Copper
that's true.
State Farms.
Yeah.
Wonderful piece.
Yeah, and they've been incredible partners because as we spoke about, which we probably didn't go into too much depth today, but our machines, because they're agnostic and they work with the existing software platforms that the companies are already using at the dispensaries, our partners, Copper State Farms, they have a real great relationship with that integration partner. And so it's just a really fruitful partnership. We want to be able to really test the data metrics, show the pilot working. We know this works outside sector. We just adapted it for cannabis, and that's the only difference. And so we know this is going to work, and we are just really excited to get it on the ground and deployed and running in stores.
So how did you two meet together? How did you form this? This
Well, we
company?
first met, I had taken a job at a friend's farm as they were scaling it up in California's 215 era. And Lindsay came to that farm, so I was managing large-scale greenhouse operations, which is cultivation that is grown using sunlight instead of an indoor environment. And Lindsay came to this farm, which was off-grid in Mendocino County in Northern California, on a sabbatical from grad school to design
Grad school was a lot.
sustainable facilities structures there. So we met, we bonded, and then years later, I convinced her to move up to Sonoma and work with me on what seemed like a crazy idea, but has really come together with our partnership with American Locker.
Aw, that's such a great
is.
story. So how many states have legalized marijuana at this point?
48 out of 50 by now have some form of either legal medical, hemp, or adult use. And so it's huge. I mean, and states are onboarding month over month. Like we said last November, every single ballot initiative that was put out there passed, even in conservative states like Mississippi, which you would never have imagined about 4 years ago. So there's real opportunity, and our lockers in some form or another, whether it's our transport locker or a dispensary locker, all of them can be used in some form or another in those states. So we really have national or nationwide reach and capacity.
And
Oh, sorry.
well, I was going to mention right now, we're restricted to, operators are restricted to their operations in a single state. There's a patchwork of varying state laws and regulations in place. But our patent for our transport model that Lindsay just mentioned is really around the idea of being able to cross jurisdictional boundaries, code for lockdown mode, prevent access and distribution out from our lockers to people who or places where they're not supposed to go. And so we really look forward to a federal nationwide market for cannabis where products and commodities will move from the West Coast east. We look to be a part of the way that that transportation excise tax is collected as a product crosses state lines.
Well, I'm a tech guy, so I have to ask some tech questions. I know that people on
Wonderful.
live stream have some tech ideas as well and questions. Blockchain, big in Nevada, big down here. Cryptocurrency, what are you guys doing? Any future you see that interfacing?
We definitely see the future there. So right now we've been constrained by bandwidth and resources alone from exploring that. We're getting product to market, but we really see that as kind of the future of where we're going with this, because really if you think about our machine conceptually, it's kind of blockchain plus a physical barrier around it, you know? And so we see that idea as, you know, as it becomes more in the mainstream and as cannabis specifically starts to work with some of those alternative currencies, because, you know, there's still federal bar against, you know, having that, using credit cards and the financial systems, then we really see that as an opportunity and a way that sort of in a kind of alternative industry to embrace those alternative currencies and technologies is really the way of the future. So we're hoping to incorporate that. We're looking for advisors and mentors if anyone really wants to guide us through that future.
They heard it out there.
All
Hopefully
right,
you'll get
wonderful.
contact. How do they get a hold of you if they wanted to?
Anybody can reach us. I guess our email's down, but you can reach us at vegas@safearbor.io.
Yep, or our first name's Lindsay, Lindsay, Marta, at Abacus Verite, but Vegas at Safe Harbor is probably the easiest. And we'll
Our
have cards
website's
here.
there, and there's also a form you could enter your information, and we'll respond.
Yeah,
That's
wonderful.
awesome.
Cool.
I'm excited. You have anything else you want to ask?
No, I mean, I just think that, I just wondered what the Angel Nevada process has meant to you both.
Oh,
Oh,
everything.
it surprised us how much we were able to learn, especially after we went through the Startup Nevada portion of the curriculum from September to the end of the year, and then the curriculum shifted to where we were working with the potential investors. And that was such a great back and forth process, especially we've been through other due diligences that are not so collaborative, just a much more sharky tank. And so it was really, really great to meet these people. We've both moved our residency here to Nevada, but we are new in the past year. And so it's great to be a part of that community.
Yeah, exactly. It was incredible.
That's great. Welcome to Nevada. And thank you guys so much. Good luck. And we're rooting for everybody.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you all
guys.
so
and
much.
thanks,
Yeah,
everyone,
thank you.
for being here today and taking the time with us.
Thank you. Well, Elise, who's up next?
So next up, I don't know because I dropped my papers.
Well, let me look, see if I can help out here.
I'm next.
Ah,
Okay, perfect.
there we go. Riot Wireless.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Come on up, sit down. What do you got in your hand there?
This is our little guy.
That's your little guy.
Yeah, this is what we've developed. We're a technology play. You can take this guy and you can just put it on any tank of any size, from a 5-gallon bucket to a 2,000-gallon tank, and it'll tell you how much stuff you got within about a minute anywhere in the world.
That is so cool.
We think it is.
Yeah, how did you come to that?
I've been doing, it's called IoT now, it's been called many other things, but I've been doing this sort of thing for quite a long time. I founded another company about 15 years ago. That company we sold to a public company, and their market cap is in the $800 million range. So I've been doing these sorts of measuring stuff in the real world and getting it back. This has kind of been my career path for longer than I care to remember.
But really interesting technology.
And the challenge is, there's a lot of people making these things that'll tell you how much stuff is in your tank, but they're all very expensive. They take a long time to install. They don't last that long. You got to run wires to it. Everything's inside. You just plug it on.
How much will that retail for a company?
In a company who's doing a field, you'll spend about $500 for this, and then it'll run for 5 years on a battery. Now we have a recurring revenue model as well. Some of our customers want a recurring revenue model. Some of our customers need to capitalize it. And this is more techie stuff than the consumer guys are talking about. It's a little bit more complicated, so it confuses folks. But in certain companies, you have to capitalize the cost so you don't have an operating cost. So it just depends how the model works. But the technology is the same.
Well, I love IoT. Oh, go ahead. You have
Well,
something else to follow up?
and we have 15 or 20 patents on stuff like this. So we've been doing this a long time. And this is just our tank sensor. We've got several other sensors in process, but this was the one where the market's really big and very poorly served. So we're pretty excited by it.
I'm really excited. I love IoT. Some of the challenges you actually mentioned here in the city of Las Vegas, we do a lot of sensors. One of the hardest things is the recurring cost model of monthly fee and then the maintenance, which you've seemed to have solved both of those big challenges, which is great.
35 years in the industry, I know all about that. So I've climbed on every piece of equipment you can imagine and many you can't imagine. So we've done a lot of strange stuff. And my partner's in the business, Jim's right there, and the other Jim is I think, out talking to folks.
Yeah, you should.
Come on up. We got space for you. You got a mic and everything.
We've worked together for years, and we've all spent a lot of time in the industry doing real stuff. And in our world, it's all see the hill, take the hill world. It's not a I like this, I don't like that. It's all quantitative. It's economically driven. The ROI has to work. The product has to work. It has to be dead reliable. You got to run it in Alberta where it's 40 below zero. You got to run it in Bakersfield where it's 125. So it's less maybe exciting, but it's kind of cool from a technology perspective.
I got to ask another question. Sorry. So
No,
my
go
host,
for
I'm
it.
just going to keep going. So obviously, it's a great unit. Where do you see, do you just see just tanks? You talked a lot about tanks. What other verticals do you see where you could apply your tech? I mean, it's an explosive industry. So
the IoT market, which is one of the fastest growing sectors in our industry, it's not limited by the software on the computers, the platforms. It's not limited by that anymore. It used to be, it's not. There's tools now to build platforms. You don't need fancy platforms. And there's hundreds, thousands of platforms out there. The guys running platforms, in order to make money, they've got to have nodes on their platform reporting data. They can't get the nodes because these sensors, to make a sensor in the lab is easy. To make a sensor you can deploy in thousands in the field is extremely difficult. You can drop this in a bucket of sulfuric acid, won't hurt it. You can put it in gasoline and it won't explode it. All these things you have to do, we've kind of solved those problems. So getting it to really, really work is a big deal. So we have many, many other sensors in process. We have a weight sensor, we have a flow sensor, we have a gas sensor, we have an anemometer, wind speed direction sensor. There's a lot of things that we're doing. And then when you start combining those sensors together, then things get really interesting.
Are you
And
building a back end then to house all
Absolute-
this data then and,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
do some analytics?
We absolutely are building
and
a
data
back end.
science?
Yeah, but so I've done this before. The hard part is not the back end. The back end is really easy. I mean, relatively speaking, it's work, but it's easy. And we're building a really nice back end. But our customers don't need the back end. They need the device. A lot of them have their own back end. I don't want to argue with IoT guys. If they got a back end, we'll use it. So we sell them the device, but there are more and more folks coming to us now that also want the back end of the platform. But I built one of the first platforms back in the early 2000s, and it changed, it disrupted cold chain transport as one of the markets we've disrupted. Rail transport of automobiles is another one. So we've done these weird things. Again, this is stuff that no normal people has ever heard about, but it is fundamental to the way you live your life. You don't understand how important it is for Ford to be able to put a car on a railroad car, deliver it without the car getting damaged. But if they couldn't do that, you wouldn't be able to drive your car.
But Tim, to your point, that device deployed in an industrial environment, a computer in an industrial environment is a nightmare. For example, there's an antenna in it. Most people put an antenna on the outside. Antennas disappear about 5 minutes after you leave the site. So those are the subtleties of this business, is making sure that will stay out in the field for 5 years and be working.
And it's maintenance free.
It's
That was a huge part. I mean,
That's
and,
huge.
and this is a very
Really huge.
esoteric product. I mean, there's only 4 people left here watching this
Oh,
presentation.
there's
but
hundreds
there's
online.
hundreds online.
There's hundreds online. I want to know, how do they get a hold of you? What marketing? Never heard. I'm in the industry.
Right.
I've never heard of Riot Wireless ever.
Well, and
It amazes me.
go
that great
go-
technology. Never
Well,
heard of it.
and there's a reason for that. Go Riot Wireless is the website. It's Go Riot Wireless.
Got it.
And the reason you haven't heard of us is because there's only one way to get this right. There's 11,000 ways to get it wrong. And so we spent the last 3 years not just making sure it was right, but demonstrating it. So we've had these units operating in the field for over 2 years. So we know they really will last as long as we say it. In our world, you know, if you buy a single product and it doesn't work out, you just don't buy that product again. But if you're getting ready to instrument 10,000 tanks, it better work or somebody's going to get fired. And so the reason you never heard of it is because we've kept a very low profile to make sure that we had it done properly. We're also working on getting our IP to clear. We have 3 patents that we're in process to close, and we want to get past the right point there.
So Tim, one of the things about this device, a lot of people now have heard of us because the largest single installation of these devices is that product.
Largest single installation of IoT devices in a field environment is our device.
And
So if
there's-
all you hear about IoT, there actually aren't that many different IoT sensors deployed. They're talking about deploying them, but they haven't deployed them.
And they can't deploy them because it takes a half a day or 3 hours to install it. You take that, spin it in place. We have pre-programmed it, even with its security keys, so in 1 minute, you're up and running.
Yeah, and then we own all the IP, so we don't rely on third parties. We own everything. We designed it all from scratch. We own the patents on it. And that is key to setting our company up for an exciting exit, because now when somebody, in a couple of years, when somebody comes and wants to do a deal with us, we own everything. They don't have to do sub-licensing or anything. So that makes the company pretty interesting. So, like I said, we love it. We get excited about it. It's hard to get real people.
I get excited. I'm excited about it.
The energy around it
At
is
least on the other
very
side doesn't
infectious.
sound
Yeah,
that
it's really
She's
exciting.
I can tell. We go way back, and she's excited.
And we're kind of the only, you know, we're different than most of the other folks here because we're deep into the IT piece, the technology piece of it, and we're in it is a pure ROI play. There's no emotion involved in these decisions. We sit down at meetings and people try to beat us up, and that's fine. The customers try to beat us up. The customers take the stuff out. They drop it. The guy will take it on top of a ladder and make sure it's not going to break. He'll put it out there and make sure the sun doesn't destroy it, that the acid doesn't destroy it, that the diesel fumes don't destroy it. And that's fine with us.
And I go out in the field with my fire retardant clothes on.
Exactly. So it's been a fun, and frankly, working with the folks here at Nevada NV, that's been pretty exciting because they've helped us get through the process. Yeah, get through the process of tightly describing what we do to folks who are not technical and getting in front of a number of different investors. And we have a bunch of investors that are interested in the product, so we're pretty excited by that. We're, you know, as a small business, you're always looking for other folks that are interested in investing, and particularly if they have any kind of relevant expertise. But like I said, we're pretty excited. We did just under $1 million last year. We'll do right around $4 million this year. and then next year we're off to the races. Our limiting factor this year actually is not sales, it's supply chain, because everybody knows how weird that's getting in the world. And
Yeah.
we've done a lot of work to get ahead of the supply chain problem. We've done a lot of the purchasing of parts ourselves, not relying on our manufacturing partners to do it. We build it right here in Las Vegas, designed, team is here, so it's kind of a local effort. So.
And there's a huge barrier to entry for this product. It took, 6 months to get regulatory for
More than
explosive
that.
environments?
Yeah. To make this thing work, if you put this thing on a tank of gasoline or diesel fuel, it has to be, they call it intrinsically safe. You can't start a fire. And so to make sure it won't start a fire is really hard. So.
And then there's a lot of cross-discipline, everything from ultrasound to radios in there, all in one package, and had the right team that can put that all together. A huge barrier to entry.
And we've been doing it for a long time, and I knew exactly the right guys to tap, and they were all at a point where their career we decided this was going to be a fun thing to do, and it's been fun. There's a lot of challenges, but it's been pretty fun. So the guys that are responsible for it, like I said, I've known Jim for 10 years, Jimmy Cram for 40 years, Damien, our software guy, for 20 years. I hired him out of college. So it's a really strong team. We're very excited by that. So.
Yeah, your experience shines through.
Shines through. Let me polish
But
it.
the next time around, I'm going to do chocolate chip cookies. This technology stuff is too damn hard.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of
Also,
explosions.
did you
and
notice that I
fire.
have absolutely the coolest tie here today?
Yes, he does.
I think I have the only
Maybe the
tie
only
here.
tie. Maybe
yeah,
the
that's
only
right.
tie today, but I do. It's
It is
very
a cool tie.
nice.
This is my Frank Lloyd Wright tie. So.
That's cool.
Excellent. Anything else you want to share with our audience?
Nah,
Anything you'd like
just
to
reach out to us if you have questions. Like I said, we're a small company. Things are going really well for us, but we're always looking for other folks that want to join the team.
You're a small Vegas company. That's even.
Yes.
Or,
Yeah,
Local.
I moved here to start this company. I'd been in New Jersey for the last 25 years.
and
we want more people to know about starting their businesses here in Nevada
Well, I
and
think-
in Las Vegas.
I think Nevada they are trying to, and I think they should put a lot more effort into helping, especially technical companies, because I mean, one thing, if you want to help build your industry, you want to supplant the gaming industry. It's a great industry, but the growth is probably not there as it is in some of the other technologies. The thing that's different about technology versus other companies is that the technology industry is highly leveraged. So if you bring in a technology company, you are bringing in technically strengthed people, and that will attract more technology companies. It will self-grow, and that's one of the areas where Vegas, there's probably opportunity to improve the way they do that, to try and get more of a technology base here, because it's a great place to live. I mean, I love it. Especially, like I said, I like to ride motorcycles in the dirt. But they could do, there's more that they could do to help encourage particularly technology players to be here. Like ourselves, like.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
We're
The
excited,
city's
but-
really working hard. I know Elise knows someone who's working on it really, really
Yeah.
hard. I work with that individual as well, and we're both working hard.
And you got
I'm
a
here.
university in town to leverage people out of. Instead of shipping them to California or Arizona, keep them here.
Well, we
That's
need-
the goal.
You
Yes,
need-
we do. We need companies like you to
Well,
be
that's right.
here and hire our grads.
What you really want to do is you want to bring guys from LA out here, because a lot of them want to be here. If you're going to own a home, it's going to be tough to do that in LA anytime soon, or California in general. There's massive opportunity. I mean, like I said, if you want to go to lunch and talk about it, I'll give you some thoughts. I've been in this industry for 35 years. I have a fair number of patents. I've started a number of companies. The companies I've run have disrupted every market we've been involved in. So we've been very innovative in doing this stuff. And there's huge opportunity in Vegas, and I would love to see them get better at it.
I'd love to. I don't miss lunch that often, as you can tell. So, I'd love to take you up on that. So,
Okay.
thanks for letting the sun shine through and,
Cool.
and showing your product, and for both of you being here today.
Thank you for doing
This is our ugly baby, but we love
That's
it.
not ugly to me. I love that baby.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All
Okay,
right,
Danielle?
Danielle. I'm going to do something for you, Elise. You need to get a little sample pack here.
Oh, I wanted to check that out.
Oh, well, we always like something else. You do that. Elise and I are here going to sit up here and let the audience
check out
see
these
what little products we get. I want to smell like whiskey.
I know, I think
I
you can
normally
smell it
do.
coming through.
I know. Well, I showered before I came, Elise. Come on. I took the whiskey smell away.
So I brought you a couple of gift boxes. They are our little gift
Oh,
boxes.
thank
and
you.
They have lotion in them. So
Well, have a seat.
air fresheners. I'm going to. Yes.
Get your sweater on.
And
Get
just
comfy.
got my sweater on. All right. This is really cool. I'm like so excited to be here, and company, I'm sorry, I'm going off on my thing, but like
Go for it.
Go.
your presentation is like solid gold. I have to say, I've watched you since the very beginning, Navaka, and just super solid. Yeah. Thank you. I wish I had enough money to invest in your
I wish
company.
everybody could.
These products are amazing.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
the
much.
packaging and the branding is so.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to, they could order this gift set.
Not that particular gift set, but yeah, like all of our products are online and you can get gift sets for sure. If somebody in your life is a adventure enthusiast, or if you are, you can definitely go to liveoutlaw.com. Yes,
these cute little
and
stickers.
Oh, wow.
stickers.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if this camera can see that far,
I
but
know,
they
I
are
don't
really
know.
cool. It's got a Joshua tree
yeah.
on there.
I know.
We talked about that earlier.
Love Joshua Trees and love Nevada. We moved here at the beginning of last year, just before the pandemic, so that was an adventure.
I'm
but
sure.
yeah, you know, I mean, it's been wild. So we moved here because of California wildfires. So we had lost electricity for a lot of our production season in 2019. Moved here just in time for the pandemic. Yeah.
A lot working against you, but also
Oh
you've
no,
had
it
a
was
lot of
like
success.
wild. It was just really wild, and people in Sparks and Reno are just phenomenal. I can't even like. Our team who is watching is just. I can't even with these
So
people.
I have a question I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Do you live the outlaw lifestyle? I mean, where do you?
Yeah, we live in Virginia City Highlands. We have wild horses in our yard from time to time. Russ just texted me earlier this morning, said, there's deer in our yard. So yeah, we do live the outlaw lifestyle. We shoot fireworks in the desert. It is our thing. Yeah.
This is how did you come up with? I'm sorry, I always take away.
Yeah.
I just get so excited. I get so
Oh
excited.
no,
I
I
wanna
know.
keep
I'm
talking.
excited too.
So how do you come up with the different aromas and how do you figure out what is going to resonate with people? I mean,
Yeah, so we are very, as wild as we are, we're very methodological about our product development. So in the beginning, that's my favorite. So that is what started the whole company. I worked in a cubicle at the Oprah Winfrey Network. I never was like, I mean, I was always at work before dawn, left after dark, and it was, you know, a lot of work. And I just thought if I could have some scent of my favorite things like the desert, then I could just get through the week and like it would be like camping in my desk. And so just bringing me back there. And that was the original start of those wild scents. You know, we thought about, well, what would we want to smell like if we could smell like our favorite things? And the answer really was the desert, campfire, gunpowder. We would go out to the, you know, to the middle of the desert, shoot fireworks and, you know, drink a bunch of whiskey and wake up at dawn and have a breakfast beer.
you're my kind of people.
Yeah.
You're my kind of person.
Outlaws.
Hey,
We
that's
got to
me.
stick together.
And it truly does smell like what it's intended to smell like. You know, sometimes you can
Blue
get.
sage and
Yes,
yeah, the
it does smell
sandalwood.
like I just went to bed after sitting around the
that great?
campfire.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's just that's the thing. Like it really makes my heart sing when people say it reminds them of, you know, the high desert or camping. It just is. It is so. I can put this back here if you want. Yeah. It's just really. It's really wonderful. This is Blazing Saddles. This is our most popular scent of all. It is not for everybody. It smells like leather, gunpowder, sagebrush, and sandalwood. And it's like the scent of Clint Eastwood walking into a deserted town, you know, a desert town, you know, with his saddle on his arm, horse gone
Yes.
somewhere else.
Like I picture
Yeah.
a cowboy. Just,
Yeah, that
a
is the cowboy. Yeah, totally.
I love
Totally. Yeah.
I love this smell. Makes me feel like I
That's
can
what
go
I-
out there and take on the world.
Exactly.
No one's
That's
gonna mess with me.
Wrangle a
Clint
calf.
Eastwood. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
wrangle a
Clint
calf.
Eastwood, you're just gonna like, you know, light the
Make my
cigarette
day.
off of your boot and
There we go.
absolutely. Yeah.
So how do people, there's a lot of people tuning in through the live stream. How do they find your products?
Oh, it's easy, liveoutlaw.com, and you can read about our company there. Our blog is very active. We love writing about what we do. You can see pictures of our production process. You can see pictures of us. We actually hired our own customers to take photos for us, since it turns out a lot of our customers are really professional photographers. And so the photography that you see on our site is all taken by customers, which has been really cool. Yeah.
And how exciting. How long have you been in Whole Foods? Because that's huge.
Yeah, so it's a really funny story. We actually got our very first ever craft fair. There was this woman who came into our booth, and she said, "I'm the buyer for Whole Foods, and I want all of this." And I was like, whatever. She's totally joking around. And I was like, okay, well, can I get your card? And she said, "I'm out of cards." And I was like, uh-huh. And so I gave her my card, and I thought, if I ever hear from her again, then that will be a very pleasant surprise, but probably nothing. And then like 4 months later, Marcella, who's now a friend of mine, she wrote and she was like, okay, let's get back on this. 9 months later, because it's a very intense process to go through all their paperwork and everything, at least at the time it was. And so we were finally in one Whole Foods store. And then it did so well in the Castro store that they started buying for other stores, and now we're part of their whole planogram. So it was really cool. And I just have a great relationship with them. They're so small business friendly. They really want to make sure that our products don't put us out of business, because a lot of companies will take, margin compromising actions to get into Whole Foods. And we very badly did not want to go out of business just because we wanted this great partner. So we've been working with them on that, and they're so supportive of us, and I'm just so grateful for that relationship. And actually, the Angels interviewed our buyer, so yeah, as part of their diligence process.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that something that you can see on YouTube?
No.
The
It was a
product?
phone call. Yeah,
Okay.
it was just a call with our buyer. Yeah, they wanted to make sure that we were actually, had a good relationship. So,
Yeah.
but she's great, and we talk frequently. So yeah.
I have so many questions. I could be here for all, but I'm gonna try to limit myself so I don't
think.
take all the time. So what's new? What is new products that are coming out that we want to share with people? What can you share?
Yeah, so probably the biggest thing is that we're releasing two of our most popular kind of scents that we release products in, very specific ways, because we're a small company, so we can't afford to put a ton of money into inventory that we're not sure is going to sell. So we are releasing hotly anticipated products. Calamity Jane Spray Cologne, Cursed Cowboy Spray Cologne, and I have not announced this publicly yet, so hi everybody. We're going to be also releasing that Lust in the Dust in a spray
So the
spray
first,
cologne as
people
well.
are hearing it right here first.
Right here, yeah. We haven't told anybody, and I just wanted to make sure that we had the label supplier squared away before we announced it, because I know that our customers are, well, you don't want to piss off people who want to smell like gunpowder first thing in the morning.
No.
So let's just say that I have, they are so awesome and supportive and wonderful that just,
So tell us about going from working for a corporation, working for Oprah,
Yeah.
to becoming an entrepreneur and
Oh,
building a
wow.
business.
That's the
It
question
was,
I was going to ask. That's a great
yeah,
question.
it was like jumping
ask
off of a
Oprah.
cliff, and you weren't sure whether you were flying or falling. And it was so terrifying, because I had been used to this, very set, expectations. You knew if you were doing a good job or a bad job. Somebody else was telling you you had quotas to meet, you had performance to meet. And we worked with a bunch of celebrities who knew exactly how they wanted things, so you knew if you either hit it or you didn't, right? And then I went into this experience of nobody telling me whether I was doing a good job or not, and just kind of floating. It was very disorienting. And so we started in 2013, we bootstrapped. We started with less than $20 in startup costs. So we bought ingredients, we sold the products. We bought more ingredients with the money that we made. So it was really slow in the beginning, pardon me. And it just really was a just terrifying struggle. And that's why I think most businesses fail within the first 5 years. More than 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years, and we've been around since 2013. And, you know, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. That's the old saying. And so I think weathering those storms has really made us better at what we do, and that's why I'm so glad in the beginning we did not have a ton of money to just throw around, because if you only have $100 in your bank account, you can only make a $100 mistake. But if you have several $100,000 in your bank account, then you can make a lot bigger mistakes. And I'm not saying that we're at the end of our mistakes. I certainly hope that we're not, because if we're not making mistakes, we're not trying hard enough. But you know, it's good to be here. It was really hard to get my head around the concept of inventory and supply chain. And people who are working with inventory and supply chain, oh, God bless you. That's why we hired the director of operations. Sorry. Okay.
They're
Yeah.
just checking on us to make
If
sure
you
that
need
we're
any
good.
water.
keep
Are
going.
you
Do you
good?
need
Are
some
you
water?
okay? I have
Oh,
my
we're good.
water. Thanks. I've got
We're
my,
good.
yeah.
Tammy is fabulous. Thank you for
Thank
checking
you,
on us.
Tammy.
You will?
Oh, we'll be up here
Yeah, let-
forever.
I'll
The
stick
show
to
will
my
never
water.
end. I'll stick to water.
So yeah, so that's it's been a really wild ride, and I'm just so lucky to be on it. In fact, I mentioned 2 of our employees are here. I think they're outside getting cocktails right now. But it's just been amazing to work with such incredible people. And I'm not just saying that because they're all watching, but they're all watching because they're incredible people. Yeah, so it's
Well, before
great.
we let you go join
Yeah. Oh,
your team out there, how do you come up with these names? They
that's
are
my
incredible.
husband. He's so cool.
See, I would have thought you, so I saw the picture of your husband and you. I would think it was you that came up with the names.
Yeah, no, I just am the writer. He is the namer in our family. He always just kind of, all of a sudden, he'll be doing, whatever mundane thing, and he'll say, "Lust in the Dust." And I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, totally. You mean the sagebrush one?" Yeah, and he's like, yeah. So Blazing Saddles, we big fans of the movie. It was a funny movie. And Mountain Hideout, actually, that was mine.
So there is a little bit of you in there, too, creative spirit-wise.
I mean,
You're holding out on us.
we fought about that name because he wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, fighting in terms of like, is this going to resonate?
Sure.
But we've always tried different names, and sometimes like Home on the Range was called Laundry on the Line, and if it's not working, we change the name. We're not overly attached to that. So yeah. Any other questions? Anything?
I don't know.
Really anything.
know.
Like I have no.
Is there anything else you want to share
with
about
us.
your
Yeah, the
brand
audience.
or?
Oh, I mean, I imagine that there are new businesses out there, some of them even here today. The first 3 years is a total zoo. And in every single person who I've ever talked to who started a business, the first 3 years is a total zoo. And so don't feel like you're failing because it's a disaster. Feel like you can get through it, and getting through it is itself not a disaster. So if you can just keep going, and a lot of it is like being in a rodeo. If you can just stay in the saddle a long time,
You have
that's
to live
winning.
the outlaw life to be able to make it. in
Exactly, you
the-
do have
the
to
small
wear it.
business
Have an outlaw
entrepreneurship.
life. So thank you so much.
Thank you
you.
so much.
Who's next up?
Mark,
You're up. Oh my gosh.
you're up.
Well, big fan.
Thank you so much,
I sweated
Daniela.
on that.
Thank you for being here.
You did a great job. Thank you.
Go enjoy yourself on the patio.
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you? Great presentation today.
Well, thank
Great
you.
presentation.
They were all good.
Really excited about the technology, though. Have a seat. Join us.
Thank you. Let me introduce you to Chris.
All right.
Chris Parrish.
Chris,
The founder.
how are you? The founder.
This is his idea.
His idea.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Chris, tell us about it a little. How'd you come up with this?
Well, I was working as a project manager, and I was frustrated because it was taking way too long to coordinate and procure material for my job sites. And so when you're a salaried employee, you hope to work 8 hours a day, but it turns into 13, and you start looking for other ways to cut time down.
So improve efficiencies. And
Exactly.
you're electricians by trade?
Yes, I'm an electrician. I spent 12 years in the field, and then I'm also an estimator and project manager. Well, I spent another 8 years doing that.
What a lot of people don't know about construction is that the field workers, they still make lists with a pencil and paper. They write on a sheet of plywood and they take a picture and they send it into their boss. So they come up with short names and slang names which vary between Florida and California and points in between. Someone's got to make sense of all this. And so the idea of having a database with all the products in an app that you can simply click on and everybody in the world is calling the same thing by the same part number and the description. It just takes confusion out of it, improves the accuracy. So that's really what helps the field worker.
So is this something that you envision going on people's smartphones, or will they have a tablet that's provided by their employer where they'll keep all this information? How do you see it in the field?
It's already on smartphones. It's on, if you have an Android, you have an iPhone, you can use Navaka today if you're an electrical field worker, because that's who we're focused on. And we're focusing primarily on the field worker to make them important. They have been left behind in this technology loop, and they're a lot smarter than people think. They use their phones, they're on Facebook, they make lists, they make texts. It's easy for them to get on a database and pick a product. You do that with Amazon every day, maybe.
I do, unfortunately. My wallet, I see it every month when the credit card statement comes in.
That's right.
But how did you two
Same.
meet? How did you two meet? How did you guys come together to move this forward?
We met through Startup NV. He was a mentor that was assigned to Navaka through Startup NV, and we hit it off right away, and we started working towards the goal of rolling this thing out the right way.
I didn't want to. I have started lots of businesses down in Los Angeles. My wife and I moved up to Reno. We're outdoors adventurers. I climb mountains. I'm an alpinist, skier, hiker, all that kind of good stuff. We were enjoying the outdoor life, and I just was helping Jeff Sailing at Startup NV, mentoring some of his new companies. And none of them were really in my space, so I didn't feel that I could give them a lot other than just what it is like to be a business owner and start a business, rather than specific knowledge about their industry space. But then I met Chris, and 5 years previously in my own company, I'd looked for something like he had. It didn't exist, nowhere. And so I started to help him. I got interested, and he said, "You want to join me?" I said, "Okay," and then he grabbed me, and he pulled me in. He's the greatest salesman I ever met. He actually sold me to become his partner in Navaka, and I love it now. We do great. We're a great team. Actually, there are three of us on the team. We have a developer, Shrawan.
That's right. Shrawan, if you're watching.
Yep. Hey, Shrawan. These are actually the co-founders. Chris actually made me a co-founder very generously. I just joined about a year ago. So I'm listed as a co-founder and CEO, but really he's the founder, Shrawan is the co-founder, and I came late to the party. So that's how it works. But we do good.
That's what teams are for. They find the right person to do the things that they're good at.
We get the job done. It's fun. It's fun.
You guys have a totally different approach to what you do with contracting, and I've been in the software and technology field for a very long time. How do you, I mean, it's just a different approach than what I've normally seen out there. How do you navigate that, and where do you see it going?
Well, it's sort of interesting because the idea that Chris had was really to make life easier for the field worker. What people keep coming out with are new softwares and apps that do accounting and materials management and purchasing. There's thousands of these apps. But contractors are very sophisticated at purchasing. They're very clever. They know how to buy. They know how to make lists. What they don't get is good information from the field because it keeps coming to them in different ways and inconsistently. And all Chris did was he said, "I'm the purchasing manager, the project manager in the office. I've got all this stuff coming at me from different directions, and I have to keep making sense of it." And I don't know, I guess he just got mad one day and decided to invest some time and came up with Navaka, and here we are. So yeah, it's a field worker obsession that we have. We want to make the field worker feel important. We want to give him what he needs. We want to take care of the field worker, and we think that the field worker will open up new markets for us if we take care of the field worker. That's our objective. And companies will benefit if their field workers are empowered, made more productive, and have the tools to do a better job. They just didn't exist a tool like this until today.
No offense to you, Chris, but I was a field worker, and I can understand the project managers
Yeah.
back in the office never knew what was happening in the ground. So we would get the wrong supplies, the wrong parts. Sounds like your whole solution kind of now finally brings what I call the back end of the house. People we used to say were in the trailers and the air conditioning and or the corporate office. Well, we were slugging it out, building things.
Yeah.
You're kind of now joining, you're giving a total view kind of the whole entire process.
Well, we are, and it's interesting. One of the investors today, I don't know if he's here now, was telling me that there's an electrician working in his house doing some remodel work for him in two of the rooms, and he's got a piece of paper and a pencil, and he's scratching and scribbling lists that he's going to send by text or email to his vendor. And the investor is saying, why hasn't he got Navaka? I said, because we haven't found him yet. But we will. We'll find him and make it easy for him. So,
How did you come up with the name Navaka?
well, that's an interesting question, because Chris had a name that he really loved, and it was Gofor, G-O-F-O-R.
I like that.
Gofor. And when I came on, one of the first things I wanted to make sure we did was that we had protection. So we couldn't get a trademark for Gofor because there were 3 or 4 or 5 other companies around the world. So we looked for names. We wanted a short name that was easy to say, that we could get the domain name for, and also get a trademark. And just came up with Navaka. It was more luck than judgment, and now we love it.
I love it too.
Thank
Cool.
you. We do.
Yeah, I was pretty resistant to it at first because, I really, really liked the name Go For, but
It was the only fight we
it
had.
grew on me.
And he's bigger than me, but we still got the job done.
You always win.
But it's a name
so.
that sticks with you now. I mean, it's got a
Yeah.
really great, it's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
Home means Nevada, Nevada means Navaka. I mean,
And-
it's got
And I
a
was born
whole-
and raised here, actually, by the way. So
There we go.
And I moved to Reno from LA, which is where I moved here from. I was British born. Met my wife, who's from Hollywood. I met her in Saudi Arabia in the oil fields, where she was working as a geologist. And we won a tennis tournament, and the prize was 2 round-the-world airline tickets on Pan Am. So we went around the world, got married in Los Angeles, and stayed there. And that's where I started all my companies.
Wow, what
So-
a background. You
story.
climb mountains.
That's pretty
you're
awesome.
It was fun. It was fun.
In Saudi Arabia.
It was fun, but this is the greatest place in the world to start a business, and that's why I wanted to come to the U.S. anyways. You can fail, and you can get back up and start again, and you're not a failure. So anyone out there who wants to start a company, do it. Do it. If you have a dream, do it.
Do it here in Las Vegas. But what's next for Navaka?
What's next for Navaka? Well, absolutely. We're going to build a large database of field workers. We're going to have more field workers in Navaka using Navaka, and we're going to give them the tools to buy products that they want to buy. And then we're going to spread from electrical to mechanical, HVAC, and plumbing, and then to all the trades. That's where Navaka is going. Field workers all over America will be able to use Navaka to purchase their tools, to make their orders, and to buy even their clothing, their Carhartt jackets or their Stanley screwdrivers or whatever. They'll be able to do that in Navaka. That's where we're going.
That's going to be fantastic.
Thank you. We're looking forward to it.
I'll remember this
it's a
day
fun
that
ride.
I once knew both of you.
We'll give you a free membership. How about that?
Hey, that'll work for me.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. And, can I just
Yeah, just leave it on the seat right
Sure.
there.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Isn't
So-
that amazing, Elise? These are some really interesting companies. We have one more to come up here shortly.
Yeah.
I know she's on her way, but it's been amazing.
I know, it's so fun. I mean, even the thing that screws on top of
Yeah.
the Riot group,
Yeah.
that is so interesting. I
it-
didn't even know there was a need for it, and then just what it's fulfilling.
I've
is
never even
amazing.
heard of it. And I've been around, that's kind of my job, my area. And to not know about something made locally here is just incredible.
And that's what's really exciting about all these businesses. It's just the fact that they're being made here in Nevada. They're being built here in Nevada. And hi.
And you're here in Las Vegas.
So we have Ira.
Ira.
I love you for saying my name right.
Ira. I will
practiced
admit,
it. I was like,
admit,
it's era, it's era.
she had to keep telling
my
me that.
God, thank
It's
you.
era. It's Michael. It's era. I got it. I have it right now.
I get
It took me 4 or
Elsie
5
so
tries.
often, so I was like, I have to get her name right because
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You guys are so happy. I love it. I think I drank a little too much right now, but no, I'm just kidding.
That's great. That's great.
no, I'm sure you need a drink after
So
preparing
nervous.
for this for so long.
Oh, so nervous. You guys, 4 years ago, I was in my kitchen making deodorants, and to be here, here. I mean, Carolyn has fought the fight that I started this for, and it's just so cool. It's so cool to have the conversation. It's so cool. We just ran into 2 people out there. They're like, we're wearing your deodorant. And they were so happy to be here. And I was like, oh my God, I made this in my kitchen 4 years ago. It's amazing.
It is amazing. I love your energy. It is so
you.
awesome.
It's the vodka.
I love what you've done with the packaging. I love it's totally recyclable, right?
Forget recyclable. It's eco-friendly. It's paper.
Yeah,
Like, so it's gonna disintegrate, right? There's only one piece of plastic in it, and that's really because I look at it from a consumer standpoint, right? What do I want to put on my body? And I saw our competitor, and they had the paper packaging that was literally hitting my skin right after a shower when it was wet and getting destroyed. Because I've had plenty of paper packaging, and it sucks. I mean, that's one of the hardest things about going natural is not using the stuff you were using before that is actually a little bit more user-friendly just to be better and greener.
Right.
And I'm like, why can't we do both?
It is so exciting to hear you say that because that is something that I've struggled to find quality natural products. So you can get, dishwasher detergent that doesn't have dyes in it, but it doesn't always clean my dishes.
Right? Or it has that white
that's
residue on the sides.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really excited to try your products. And so do you feel like you'll stick with deodorants or do you foresee in the future moving on to maybe laundry detergent or other household goods?
No, we're not household. We're technically we're Bath and Body. So we came out, oh gosh, this is so good. With this eucalyptus spray, it's pure eucalyptus oil, and then we've got 3 different flavors. We've got lavender eucalyptus, we've got a mint eucalyptus, and it's for your shower. So instead of having to go to Trader Joe's and get all the ones that hang and leave a mess and everything else, it's literally a spray. So you spray 2 sprays in the shower, and your whole day is set because it's like you just got out of a
I
steam
do
shower.
shower bombs, but that would be so much
Oh my God, so much better.
solution.
There's 100. I have it right over. Do you want me to go grab it?
Go grab it. Let's show everybody.
All right.
I don't want anybody to know I do shower bombs. I probably shouldn't say that online. People will make fun of me for that.
No way.
I'm kind of metro, though. I came from Orange County, California.
Oh,
Newport
dude, you're
Beach.
so mature. Oh my God.
I love shower sprays. I'm excited.
So this is it right here. Oops, sorry. So this is it right here. And let me pop the top right here. So obviously you can't spray this on your skin. It's pure oil, right? But you could get an idea.
Oh, and it's so fresh and
Oh my
natural.
gosh, that is so
and-
clean and fresh and light.
It's beautiful. And when you put it in with a shower and everything, and then you get a lavender one for if you're a night shower, because a lot of people take showers at night. It just
I'm one of
relaxes
those.
you. It
Morning and
relaxes you.
night.
He's more excited. I love this. I love it when a guy gets so excited.
This
But
is good stuff.
But
It
it's
is good stuff.
true because, my whole goal is to make amazing, good for you products that actually work, look good, and smell good, right? The only patchouli I want is the Tom Ford kind. And even that's not all that great. I just want it to be clean and fresh and beautiful. And because I think all of our women, and no offense, but we are mostly women, and women buy for their men.
They do.
Right? Our eucalyptus.
More women should be buying for their men.
Especially the eucalyptus,
The
right?
eucalyptus.
But
I'll give my address out. They can ship it to me.
exactly. But I think we're all Wonder Women. We do so many different things. And it's this is the one thing I don't ever want you to worry about. I know that when you get freedom, you know you've got a clean product. You know that it works, right? You know it's pretty. Fantastic.
And I love the
Easy.
story behind it all.
I do
That is
too.
amazing. That is
Female
amazing.
Thank you.
run. You come from a family of strong females. You're girls. I come from a family of 3 girls too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Give me 5.
Speaks
Oh my
to
God,
me.
I love it. I love it. Listen, and my girls are at home, literally texting me while I was on the presentation. They're like, "Can we order pizza?" No, it wasn't like, "Mom, you got this." It was
No,
Yeah,
like,
no.
Like,
"Can I order pizza?"
Right.
And I have to tell you, an amazing, strong woman gave me this before I came on, too. And it's her magic wand, and her daughter gave it to her when she was 3 when she had to do a presentation. And she came up to me and gave it to me, and I literally held it through the whole thing because to be a woman in this industry, to do a startup is really tough, you know, to put everything you've got into it and to make it, like I said, I was in a kitchen. You should have seen my kitchen, it was a mess. 4 years ago, it was my friend that was calling me when she was going through menopause, you know, but she was going through menopause because she was going through her chemo treatments, okay? But she's alive, okay, and she's good. But to know that freedom is such a big deal, is not to worry, just not to worry. We worry about enough things on a daily basis. Have some freedom in your life, right? Everybody needs a little freedom.
They do. Tell us a little bit more. I mean, a woman entrepreneur and in Las Vegas, a city that is more challenging to be an entrepreneur in than other locations. How did you get through that? You know,
I'm still getting through it.
You're still getting through it. You got the magic wand now, though.
I have the magic wand. I'm not putting this down. I'm putting this down.
I don't want you to put the eucalyptus. Oh, no, you don't have to. I'll hold that for you.
Hold on to that.
I'll hold it
for me. But it smells good, huh?
Yeah, it does.
I know.
Sorry.
You know, to be a woman entrepreneur in this town is really hard. I lost friends. Women didn't want to talk to me about business because they're like, I actually had somebody say, all you do is talk about deodorant. And I'm like, well, it's kind of a big deal. You wear it every day, right? And it's my business and it's my passion. And it was just tough. It's just such a different stance to come at it as a woman than a man, because I had other women that are like, I go, can I meet your husband because they sold a company or they did this? I'm like, I just want to have a conversation. And it was like, no. We need to change that.
It's unbelievable that that is still the case in 2021, but it's so true. Just to be able to be taken seriously and to have someone look at what you have, and also, like you said, women to women supporting each other. It's so unfortunate that so many times people will see that as a threat to them, as their friends being more successful, or like they're really onto something. To be able to look at that and say, hey, this is my friend, and
Like,
look what
she's
she's
so
done.
cool.
Yes, we need more of that.
Listen, I've been really lucky. I've got a great group of friends, and it took probably the COVID, actually, to really figure that out, because they're like texting me going, how did it go? What's it going on? Like, let me know. And I want that for my girls, you know?
Yes.
And even though they're just getting pizza and they care less about anything else, one day
They
they'll
will
care.
one day.
Oh, I can't wait.
They're going to watch you. They're going to know you. You're setting a bar, not just for your daughters, but for all of Las Vegas, that a woman entrepreneur can make it here, be successful, great.
You're going to make
products.
me cry.
So, no, amazing. I have one question, though.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure a lot of guys don't ask this question, but I'm going to ask this question.
love this.
I wear white shirts,
Yeah.
French cuff every day.
Yeah.
One of the problems I've had throughout the years is that you never know when you're
Mm-hmm.
using deodorant what's in it, really. And you always get guys that have,
The
I throw
yellow.
my shirts, the yellow.
The yellow.
The yellow.
I know the yellow.
I hate the yellow.
Okay, we're not
it
doing
It
yellow.
ruins good shirts.
No.
I'm sure Freedom, does that have a, you going to ever come out with a men's product?
So I have to tell you something, and
All
you're
right.
not going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Men overuse. Just a little,
I like it.
but literally they're like,
You made me self-conscious. I don't want to stink. You kept talking about stink. I don't want to stink.
No. So there's a process,
All
okay?
right.
There's a
What's the
process.
process?
So our new, I wish I could show you our new stuff because they just took it upstairs, right? So we have a clear one, and the clear one's great. It's a sensitive formula. So you might need to reapply. It's about 12 hours, okay? I call it the black dress deodorant because it's great for a black dress. It's great for a black tank top. But you really need our oil-based formula. That's our regular formula. And it's fantastic. It's not going to leave a white mark. It's not going to leave a yellow mark. It's fantastic. It glides like, ugh. But you can't overuse it. It's going to show up. Just like if you put lotion on your body and you put a pant over it, you're going to see an oil stain or any kind of stain, right? So you just have to, you only need 3 swipes? Really?
All right,
And that's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
I'm going to believe in
And
you.
you know what? Give it your body a couple days to get used to it. Women know this. Whenever we switch to a new skincare line, right, it takes a couple days, right? Your body's got to get used to it. And when you're removing antiperspirant, that's a drug, by the way. So we're putting you through rehab, right?
All right.
And it takes a few days to get the drug out of there and get your pH level back to normal, right? So use a few swipes. You're going to be shocked. Are you going to have sweat stains? It is not an antiperspirant, right? But a guy was telling me about this. He's like, I don't want sweat stains. And he puts his arm up, and literally, he's got a ring, and he's using Old Spice. So I'm like, you're going to have that anyway, right? And you actually might have it less because once your body's gone from that. So try it.
I will try it. You got me excited.
Get a little bit of freedom.
All right, little freedom. I will.
Wait for the new formula. It's coming out. We're going to have a pre-sale this next week. You'll love it. Just a few swipes. And if you need more, you could do more.
Okay.
But don't go crazy.
But you don't want me to overuse.
No.
All right. Big
No.
mistake I've been making for
No,
years.
but I'm
Where
going to
have you
teach
been all
it.
these years?
I
need this advice.
I'm here now
You are here now.
with my magic stick.
Yes.
Do you guys have any more questions?
I do. Can I
Yes.
keep going?
Go for it,
All
Yes,
right.
I love it.
So big announcement.
Yeah.
You had that big slide with all
I
the
know.
different locations. That's amazing.
I know.
In itself. What's kind of any new products in the pipeline you
Mm-hmm.
can share, or anything? Any other locations?
So I have to tell you, to expand for more products, it's very cost
Oh, I bet.
prohibitive. But the cool thing is, I don't know if I didn't say this in my presentation, but I create all the products. When you come to our office, you'll see it. If you guys ever want to come by, we're right behind the Palms Hotel.
I'm coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes,
I wanna
please.
check it out.
Tomorrow's
There's,
okay,
tomorrow
Monday.
Sunday is not
Monday,
going to happen, but
Monday.
Monday is good.
All right.
But we have a sign that says Mad Scientist in Progress because I will create products and then I'll send it to our manufacturers and they'll test it and they'll tweak it and they'll make it better. We would love to do more bath and body. We would love to do, just anything that touches your skin and you're around.
Shampoo. That would be so nice.
You're like the third person with
Yes,
shampoo.
it is so difficult to find a good shampoo that has all clean ingredients and actually will clean and smell nice and not have perfumes added, rather essential oils. Is it tricky?
So it's very tricky, but that being said, speaking of shampoo, a major retailer that's got a big circle with a thing in the middle has asked us to do a dry shampoo for the body.
Oh.
Oh, for the body.
So an
what a cool thing.
antiperspirant.
Wow. Oh, that'll be awesome. I can't wait to see that.
So we're working on that right now. It's taking a minute. But we're going to make it eco-friendly, and we're going to make it amazing. We're going to make it smell. That's our scents are amazing. So we'll see. We'll see. We've got like 4 or 5. If it was up to me, I would have like 10 products, right? Unfortunately, we have to be very shrewd and careful what we go into next. So, yeah. And we've got some great products for you guys over here on the side, too. I grabbed some lip balms and
I like
a couple
lip
like
balm.
fun stuff, yeah.
I can't wait to check
Oh my God, the
them out.
coconut one is amazing. It's a real coconut. It took me 20 real coconuts to figure out the right coconut to get into it, but
And you do this all. You're
Yeah, this
the
is amazing.
engineer. That is
you know-
amazing.
What's your background?
Yeah,
that-
that's what I was gonna.
nothing.
Really?
Nothing?
Except for I've got a crazy Russian Jewish mom, right?
Okay.
Who's like, she cooks everything from scratch. So growing up with that, and she would never let me cook, but growing up from that, I learned like the benefits to the body for different ingredients and everything else. And I was fascinated by it. I ask a ton of questions. I'm not a wallflower. I ask. And it just, I mean, I don't think I have to be a chemist. I have chemists that work for us in our manufacturing plants. I just get it started. I can't take all the credit. They do a lot of it too.
But that's still really amazing.
It is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the scents, like how you create scents. It's so awesome. Like, the nose is not real, but but the nose is the nose. Like, I love creating scents, and I never thought I was creative at all, any point in my life, being
How
in
could
finance.
you say that?
Yeah,
A
look at
full
this
line
brand.
of products,
I know,
a
right?
brand. You're in
Oh my God.
stores
The
everywhere.
beautiful hummingbird logo. I love that.
Can I give you the hummingbird story?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Guys.
We're in it.
You guys, okay, so 7 years ago, I went through a pretty painful divorce. And I was just not sure where to go, what to do. I had the financial firm, I had the 3 kids. It was tough. So my friends took me to Red Mountain Spa It's in St. George, Utah, like an hour outside of here, right? So of course, like a normal human being, I went to see a tea leaf reader. Doesn't everybody do that? I want somebody to tell me my future. And so she turns over this tea and she goes, oh my God. She goes, it's a hummingbird. I was like, hold on. I just gave you money to tell me about, like, where's the guy? Where's the next job? Where's this? And you're giving me a hummingbird. What? And she tries to tell me all the powers of a hummingbird, this, that, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. I got up and walked out. I usually don't do that. I'm not that person, but I was in a tough part of my life. And when I walked out, she said, your hummingbird's gonna bring you your freedom.
Wow.
That is
That gives
powerful.
me-
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
That is powerful.
And I didn't start the company until 3 years later, and I was working with a friend of mine, Brigitte, in Baby Bird Productions, which we should say in San Diego, and she sent me a hummingbird, and I think the rest is history. Yeah, it was instantaneous. It was like I looked at it and I was like, there she is. Okay,
That's amazing.
let's go.
Wow.
That is.
I love that story.
Oh,
That
thank
is
you.
great.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
let me ask you a question what would be the one thing, if there are women entrepreneurs watching you right now, you're so inspirational, such a powerful message, just your energy and everything, what would you give them as advice? I mean, you've been through so many challenges and you shared all that. What would you say to them? Or what?
Believe in yourself. Stop listening to people, which is the hardest thing for women, like, because we want to get validated by everybody, right? And especially in today's society with Instagram and everything else, like, you want to get validated. But your gut tells you, you know. You go on a date with somebody, like, trust yourself and ask a lot of questions, okay? Don't think you're just going to float on stuff. Educate yourself, okay? But that's about it, like, and take that first step. That's the difference between entrepreneurs and want-to-be-preneurs, right? They're like, I have a great idea. Well, how many of you are doing it? You don't have to quit your job. Please don't quit your job. Plan accordingly. But, like, try to put it out there. Try to put a prototype. Try to talk to people. See if there's interest. Trust your gut.
That's amazing. So sounds so simple, but yet the way you say it is a huge impact for people. Because I
It's
think they
still
do. I
hard.
think it's very hard to take that leap, and you kind of. But look at
But
what
you
you
did
have
it,
done.
and look
You
how
have
it paid off.
Look how it's paid
Yeah.
off.
Listen, I still look at it as like, we've got this teeny little company and we have deodorants. Like, I still look at it in my kitchen. I still look at my kitchen and I'm like, oh my God, do we have to make this? I hate to say this, but I kept a lot of the stuff that we started with in my third car garage. And it's still there every time I see it. I was like, oh, if we ever need to make some at home, which we're way beyond, but it's fun to look at. You always got to remember.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
sharing your
you.
story with us and your brand, and
Thank you.
you've been very inspirational.
You guys
have
come and
been.
visit me afterwards. I got some stuff.
I'm
for you.
coming
Thank
over.
you.
I'm coming over
We
Monday.
will. Yeah,
Oh, you
I
mean
know.
later
I'm gonna
today?
check out your
I'm
place.
thinking
I got
Monday.
stuff here. Don't wait till
I'm not
Monday.
giving this back. I'm gonna hold on. I'm
Oh
kidding.
my God. Well, I got to put it out there, but you know
do.
what? It might not end up in my bag at the end of the night.
Smells
Just saying.
fabulous.
Oh, by the way, I've got an extra one. So don't worry.
Thank you.
That was so fun.
That is amazing story. Thank you for being my host. I'm the co-host, so thank you for letting me be on stage with you.
This is
been
fun.
fun.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. I never knew so much about the Smiths.
Yeah, right? I'm so excited to see them give away a big check. I've always wanted
know.
to see that in person.
I thought maybe we'd get a check too. No?
I've got a check.
You got checks? All right.
All right.
I'm not saying that they're going to be any good, but I do have checks. So where are my partners in crime, Maisha and Nick? All right. As soon as I get Maisha and Nick up here, we can carry on. What we're going to do is we're going to announce the Audience Choice Award, and then we are going to talk about then we're going to announce the two runners-up and together, and then we'll announce the winner. So for those of you who are getting awards today, we're going to do some photo opportunities after. We'll take some quick photos like right when you get up here on the stage, but we'll do more photos after. So, so there we go. So to announce, is Maisha in the room here? Okay. So Nick, are you ready to carry on with the People's Choice Award? We should wait for Maisha. Okay.
How were the deliberations in the boardroom?
Well, clearly it took a little longer than we thought it was going to take. It was difficult. I mean, we have 6 fantastic founders and fantastic companies, and 48 very passionate and opinionated investors. So even though we spent the last 6 weeks doing due diligence and having some really productive arguments amongst the team, it was so close. It was unpredictable as to what was going to happen today. So I think at the end, everybody's really happy and pleased with where we are, and can't wait to get through the next 5-10 minutes or so and watch how the audience reacts to both the audience choice and the runners-up, and then I'll be back up to announce the winner.
Thank you, Jeff. Really excited to have everyone here. I really appreciate. I just want to say some thank yous. Thank you to the MCs. Thank you to the audience members. Most importantly, thank you to the founders. And with all that being said, without further ado, the winner of the People's Choice Award for AngelNV is Outlaw. Yeah, if you want to say some thank you.
I'd like to thank my team and my parents and everybody who voted.
Fantastic. What a wonderful event. It's a pleasure to be here. It's part of the fund management team. My name is Maisha Williams, now Boyce. We have, thank you. We have the exciting task today of identifying the runners-up. As Jeff mentioned earlier today, we were able to secure funding in an amount that surprised us all in a very, very good way. So that allows us to bring 2 companies up here to receive funding in addition to our first prize winner. All right, so without further ado, drum roll. First is Navaca. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely, congratulations.
Thanks.
And, nope.
Freedom Brands. Jeff, I'll hand the mic back over to you.
Great. Congratulations, everybody. We're going to take some pictures after. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll take some pictures.
All right, so hang out, or you can grab your seat again. We're going to shine a little spotlight on our winning company. So, like I said, it was a really, really hard choice because it's because the founders are so awesome and the companies are so awesome. So the winner of AngelNV 2021 and the $200,000 investment is Safe Harbor. We have the one big check made out. So congratulations. Let's step out in front here.
This really means a lot to us. It's going to allow us to launch before the end of the year and fulfill those projections that we outlined for you today.
This has been the best and most informative and valuable due diligence and learning process that I think we've been through since the inception of the company. So we're just grateful to all of you for your time, your investment, and your belief in us. So thank you.
Congratulations again to everybody. We've got four different companies for four different types of investments. So congratulations to Safe Harbor, Outlaw, Freedom, and Navaca. So what's next? Next is Whiskey Liquor Up. It is, there we go. There, it's at Fremont at First Street near, it's kind of in between Binion's and Circa. So if you want kind of the most direct route, you can walk down Main Street. I would recommend coming out the front of the building, taking a left, going to Casino Center, taking another left, and going down to Fremont. It's a little bit nicer walk that way. So it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes or so to get there. Do we have anybody manning the booth out front that can give out the drink tickets? Maggie is waving at me, so yes. So anybody who wants to join us at Whiskey Liquor Up, then on your way out the door, stop and get a drink ticket. So I think in closing, I want to thank, again, the founders. Just phenomenal work from the founders. All of 6 of these companies are investable. I wish we had enough money to invest in everybody. Thank you so much to the angels. Everybody stepped up and put their money in before they even knew who the companies were. So that says something about how much the angels are behind the community. So again, thank you. And stay tuned, because as we get more capital into the fund, there might be some changes in the investment amounts to the 3 winners, and possibly people who didn't win tonight might suddenly come in the money if we get the fund up to the right amount where we can invest another $50,000. So again, thanks everybody for coming out. It's been a wild ride, and hopefully we can blow off a little bit of steam down at Whiskey Liquor Up. And we will see you all down there. And I'd like to thank our MCs for keeping everybody entertained and keeping the proceedings moving along. Thank you so much. And am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. All right, I'm going to stop babbling. We will see you down there. Give us about, 15 minutes or so to wrap up here and get down there. And you'll see me or Maggie or Maisha or Nick or one of us down there. And Thomas is the manager. Doubting Thomas is the manager down there who knows that we're coming. So hopefully one of us will race down there and get there ahead of everybody else. In the meantime, they may not know what to do with your drink tickets till I show up. So, but we'll see you down there about 15, 20 minutes. Thanks a lot, everybody, for coming. Thanks for sharing this wonderful day with us.
And